What it do, what it do. Welcome to another edition of Outlaw Radio. My name is Kevin Barnes. I am the mouthpiece of the movement, the militant with a microphone, aka the Negro Whisperer. I am here to talk shit and swallow spit. No Diddy. How y'all doing this evening, man? What it do, 414 stand up, Black America Foundational Black Americans stand up. I hope everything is going well. We are in the middle of the week. The weekend is upon us. It's the Hump Day edition. Outlaw Radio. The truth is, you can figure out what I mean by the truth is. That's on you. But welcome to the show. How y'all doing? It's cold outside. Weather's kind of schizophrenic, but in the Midwest, it often is during this time of the year. I have part of my Outlaw family, at least. I have the fact checker, ENC Jordan, who, by the way, is always on time. I can say my brother is always on time. As soon as I hit him with the link, he's in. So another positive, when it comes to having the fact checker on. How you doing tonight, my brother? What's good with you?
Man, brother, I'm good, man. I'm still, I know you don't play Madden football, so because of what happened last week to our Green Bay Packers, I went ahead and put together the 96 Packer team. And even though I have an issue with Brett Favre right now, I created that team, and I'm gonna see how far I can go.
Okay. Yeah, I stopped playing Madden some years ago. I used to be really good at Madden. Really, really
Oh,
good.
you played football, I believe it.
Yeah, I was dope with Madden for a long time. And I'm not that good anymore because the game has changed and, just not into it like I used to be. But yeah, that 96 team was dope. And
Woo,
Favre was a monster on that team.
man.
So if you're gonna play Madden, I would suggest to play with that team.
Oh yeah.
We have a phone number. The phone number is 262-202-5131. It's scrolling across the bottom of the screen. 262-202-5131. There's also a Cash App so you can donate at your own behest. I'm trying to expand and explore different avenues for the show, and it take cash money to do it. So if you feel like you enjoy the show or what we do and you want to see it on a bigger scale, a lot of people tell me, man, I love the show, man. I would love to see it be on a bigger scale. Hit that Cash App. Hit the Cash App. Hit the Cash App. I'll make it happen. I promise you. But we are on the precipice of MLK Day. So I spoke last week about the attempt to besmirch Dr. Martin Luther King, the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King, who exists as the measuring stick for how to mobilize and polarize our people when it comes to getting to the nitty gritty about civil rights and equality. And I realized that nowadays, because of many different factors, the term civil rights is almost a dirty word. I've seen that our president has chosen to, unsurprisingly to myself, because I've said along for a long time, he is a white nationalist, as are most of his supporters, that the Civil Rights Act and equality legislation has resulted in white people being treated badly, which is one of the most asinine statements I've ever heard. I just go ahead and say, that you're a white nationalist, and just say it to people. Say this is what white nationalism is. But white people, you're crying over spilled milk. You are crying wolf about being mistreated. Really, really. JD Vance saying, what feels if it feels like there's no shame to being white again. Well, first of all, we talk about the shame that comes with whiteness. It comes from within you all, because when you, and I'm speaking to white people, when you take into account all of the egregious behavior that white people have demonstrated for the last, let's just say, 100 years, yeah, you should feel a certain amount of, oh shit, like, damn, that's us. You know what I mean? Like when you think about all of the things that have been done to people across the globe historically by those individuals who migrated from the Caucasus Mountains, Some refer to them as Caucasoids. And I'm not an anti-white person. Like, I'm not a black man who hates all white people. I really don't. I recognize white people in their historical perspective. I recognize what it is, and I speak to it. And I think it should be spoken to. And if you're a white person and you feel any kind of shame, then you need to do some self-reflection. How
Yep.
white have you been in your life, right? Like, how much of this white racist hypocrisy, white privilege, white oppression, how much of this have you engaged in? How much of this has your family engaged in? And you should be treated accordingly. We also have a chat room. The chat room is popping. Ace Cooley's in the chat room. What up, Ace? He said, what a do Outlaws. My brother, Mikey Deacon Davis, my brother from my neighborhood. He said, what up, Kev? How you doing, Mikey? God bless you and yours. Landon Deadman, what it do, family? How you doing? He said, good evening. Welcome aboard, y'all. Please share the show. Let people know Outlaw Radio is on the air. Kev wasn't tripping this week like he was last week. I was in limbo last week. I didn't know what the hell was going on. I forgot what day it was. I forgot I even had a show. Somebody said, I said, what show? Right? Craziness.
Man.
So I've just been kicked back, man, just watching 2026 roll in and watching the news and the media, of course, national media, when we see what ICE is doing in Minnesota, what ICE is doing in America, people's reaction to it, our military being deployed in different places. There's accusations that the United States used some sort of top secret sonic weaponry down in Argentina, which is possible. I mean, you think
Yeah.
about it, we are our United States military is a very high tech unit. Like, they have a lot of high tech weaponry, and it wouldn't surprise me if they had some kind of weapon that they kind of tried out. I mean, you know, this is the game. This is global politics, and this is your president using his military like he wants to, without checking with anybody or seeing if the people approve of it, even though the people, quote unquote, pay the bills, right? Like, you're using what we pay for. Um, A says shit is not our fault that they're ashamed. It's their ancestors who committed all the atrocities. Some of their kids just happen to be humane thanks to hip hop. That is a very, very deep statement, Ace. If people don't understand that hip hop made this world a whole lot smaller,
Yep.
and hip hop done for diversity what no other movement could do. I mean, it shrank it in a hurry. It turned a lot of young white children against their parents' ideologies because they listened to it and said, wait a minute, is any of this true? And as a white person, you can't lie. I know you want to, but if your children say, Mom, Dad, did we ever have, did white people ever own black people as slaves and treat them really badly? You have to say yes. You have to say, well, Peter, it was a long, very long time ago and things were different. And unfortunately, it's part of what happened. And so if those children feel any kind of shame or any kind of guilt or any kind of anything, then they need to grow up living against the blueprint that their parents follow. I don't, I say, well, I believe not all white people are white. I mean, are racist, but as a white person, what are you doing to counter racism? You know what I'm saying? That's like, check your whiteness and see how much of this have you put into the atmosphere. My brother, I know you, like myself, watch a lot of what's going on politically in this country, and we listen to what people say. And how are you feeling with 2026? We're 2 years into Trump's regime. Um, we see a lot of what he stated in the Project 2025 come to fruition, and you see a lot of white movement like I do. That's just hypocritical, and it's almost comical, like the lengths that they will go to disregard their historical movements in terms of oppression and murder, death, kill, man, like wiping people out. I feel like everywhere these people have gone, there's been war, death, destruction, oppression, objection, um, uh, you know, exploitation, like degradation. They have a track record. When we say white, we're talking about your average everyday European. So Europeans, people who come from Europe, right? How you feeling, man? How you feeling with 2026 rolling? How your bubble floating so far?
Uh, well, in regard to 2026, I'm thinking there are a lot of very unserious people. And as far as the justification with Renee Good, as far as the stuff going on at the Smithsonian, as far as him saying the civil rights movement was very, very, it had caused a lot of white people to get treated very, very badly. I think he said very twice. So the way I'm feeling about it, Kev, is a lot like you because the level of hypocrisy, man, it used to make me mad, but it doesn't make me mad because I expect it. But what kills me is a lot of people that you normally would engage with about the Packers or you can talk to them about other things when it comes to this and the overflow with the Charlie Kirk shit. It just seems to me, man, that people believe what they want to believe. It doesn't affect them, so they don't really care that much. And you guys need to get over it and get on board. Is where I'm feeling with some white people. So that's where I am with it. Yeah, I'm just no, I'm not feeling it at all. I'm with you.
And what's cool is, as a foundational Black American, we're very, very seldomly surprised with what white people do and how they move, right?
Nope.
Like, so a lot of the shit that Trump says or other racist white people say, it doesn't really surprise us. We kind of say, yeah, well, it's Tuesday, right?
He
Like,
says Tuesday.
you know what I mean? Like we're not surprised, but a lot of people are like, oh my God, so that's why I say the entire planet is side-eyeing white America right now, saying, yo, what the hell is going on over there? But this has been their claim to fame for a very long time, as far as we're concerned.
Yes.
Invading people, taking what you want, shutting people out of opportunity, whether it be economic opportunity, whether it be educational opportunities,
Ugh.
having an unequal system that you kind of promote as an equal playing field. We can look at our justice system, and when you talk about our conviction rates as foundational Black Americans compared to theirs for nearly the same crimes is disproportionate. How much more time we get, how much more time we serve. We have been commoditized by this country for a very long time.
Yes.
So we are not. That's why you see us sit out a lot of stuff, like and everybody's waiting. Where the Black people at when they do all of their demonstrations and whatnot? And Black people are chilling somewhere, chilling, eating a piece of fried chicken.
Yeah,
And for some of us, we look at this and say, it's
Popeyes.
about time somebody else got a foot in their ass besides us. And so when you ask, where are we? We chilling. We're chilling. I don't want a lot of us to go out and sacrifice our lives and our livelihoods for individuals or cultural groups that really don't really care about us, that will disregard us, that have never come running when we needed some assistance or some AA. One thing about us is when we're being mistreated, we take it on our backs and say, all right, it's us, let's fight it. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't look for other people. I don't ever recall saying, hey man, where all the Asian people at? As a matter of fact, a lot of these groups come into our communities and exploit us economically. You look at Arabs, you look at Asians to a certain degree with their kind of domination over the hair product movement, which is something that we pour a lot into.
Oh
Beauty
yeah.
shops, hair supply shops. When it comes to Arabs, grocery stores, gas stations, they come into our community and take and exploit and don't give anything back. And then utilize the funds they've made to kind of force their way into white America. So you can go and live in a high class suburb and send your children to Marquette. And you know what I'm saying? Like, so yeah, when it's y'all going through it, we chilling. We're chilling. And I want to give Black America Yeah. We are minding our own foundational black business. That's what we're doing. Our own foundational black American business. That if you're wondering where we're at, that's where we're at. And trying to figure out a way to get where we need to be. I see you, Joey Phillips, in the chat room, my big brother. He said, "What's up? Outlaw Radio, peace and love. Love, Kev. Got to hook up soon. My brother, 17th Street for life. Neighborhood for life. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I grew up in a very, very unique neighborhood, a very, very different neighborhood with a lot of individuals that went on to do great things. And so, JoJo, yeah, we got just inbox me. Jay and I are headed out this weekend. Me and old Goop headed out this weekend, going out to one of our places. So I know you and I were supposed to hook up prior to this, but you should get with us this weekend. Be a lot of fun. We going on one of our range weekends.
Oh, I'm there.
Mariah Johnson, she said, "I'm here, y'all, but in class. Love y'all. Much love, cuz. Much love. Do your thing." Brenda Peterson, she said, "Hey, Kev, how you doing, Brenda? Up in the Twin Cities. God bless. Hope everything's going well." Mama Jenkins in the chat room. She said, "Good evening, my outlaw family. This city is a decayed mole. 6 schools closing,
Oof.
stores closing, 2 deaths yesterday, 2 more today. The drones are here on the roof of the 7th district, ready to capture crimes. There's enough going on right here along with these world issues. I'm going to listen tonight and pray for this city." We are grateful, Mama Jenkins, for all your support. At least I am, for sure.
Absolutely.
And I know you are a pivotal part of your community. And you're right. Our city is some very, very deep issues in our city that need to be repaired, and our leadership doesn't seem to be prepared, excuse me, to address them. But yes, there's a lot going on in the city, including that new drone program, which a lot of people aren't talking about, but you'll see it pretty soon. Brenda Peterson said another ICE shooting tonight in Minneapolis. I would
Jesus.
expect that, Brenda, because people have taken to the streets. And this is what we've said. Like, it seems like this is a war um that Trump has kind of launched on against the people of this country.
It's
Like
exactly
he's
what's happening.
yeah, he's declared war on the people of this country. And once again, white people, I need for y'all to be a little bit more vocal.
Yeah.
I need for y'all to stand up on this one and
Yeah,
say,
bro,
"Yo,
because it's dangerous. They're going and my prediction, I said this a while ago, and people been sending me messages or whatever because I put on my Facebook page, I said, myself and News Undone TV, we're not going to engage with unserious people at this point. We just going to start talking about the midterms in 2028 and covering things that happen. And on Outlaw Radio, I'm not going to be going after these Trump supporters like that anymore because just in a phrase, they're fucking morons. And at the end of the day, people are going to start getting killed. I mean, it's going to happen even more. I'm talking about ICE agents. What they're going to start doing is they're going to see them roll up. You're going to have cats on rooftops. They're going to start ambushing these people because people are looking at it like there's no hope. They're so used to freedom and freedom of speech, at least so the illusion of it. People are looking at this like, okay, man, I ain't got shit else. So now what's going to happen is they're going to start going to war with these people. And I don't think they understand, like some of these gang members and these organizations and these groups. And I talked to a couple of family members that are GDs, and I talked to some of my former friends and, well, not former friends, but people I don't really associate with anymore that are vice lords. People were telling me just off the record, like, bro, they gonna start getting shot up because we got weapons too. And people ain't afraid to die, a lot of them, man. That's my take on it. I see that happening next, the next progression.
it's always very interesting when you see white people getting their rights violated because
Yeah.
then the game changes. Like you see a place like Minneapolis, or you see other places where white liberals who have always been under attack start to be really addressed and treated like, essentially like they're black people, right? Like, and you start to see
Yeah.
things. There's a lot more optics on it when they start to really be mistreated. So let's see what goes on. Let's like I say, let's black people, let's foundational black Americans, let's just chill. Let's just maintain, right? Let's stay groovy, right? And focus on what we need to be focused on. If we can have a white nationalist president who is come in with this really strong white nationalist agenda, I see no other time, no better time than to really engage in black solidarity and start to explore what black nationalism is. That's why I always say I support the delineation movement. It's not a separation, it's not divisive. It is us saying, "Hey, let's prioritize ourselves. Let's start to look into our communities," which more often than not, no matter where you go, the black community is the most dysfunctional out of all of them. So it's important that we say, hey, yo, what little we do have in this country, start to focus on it and make it better and empower ourselves. We're not really worried about inclusion anymore. We're more worried about empowerment now.
You shouldn't be. No, you should, and you shouldn't be. You're absolutely right. If we don't start focusing on like well, I was gonna say what you're alluding to, what you're saying, start focusing on economics, starting businesses, starting side hustles, all of these different things, because that's what everyone else does. If you jump into these distractions and you care too much about what this clear white nationalist is doing, then you're stupid as hell because you're not focusing on the things you need to do. And you've been saying this for years now, but I think this is the perfect time for people really maybe go back and watch some of them old shows and listen to what some of the stuff that Kevin was saying specifically, especially about being together. It's not about hating white people. It's not about any of those things. It's just about getting yourself together, get your economics right, understand how things work, get some politicians, you know what I mean? Start some lobbyists, get one, and then you can get two and move on from there. I 1000% agree. Because this ain't really got nothing to do with us, but it has everything to do with us at the same time, if it makes sense.
Yeah,
As Americans being here. Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Earl Henning in the chat room, he said, what did do my brothers fuck Donald Trump and his friends? Brenda, you are making a very excellent point in saying Earl never fails us with fuck Trump. He
No,
doesn't.
never.
He was gonna say that every show. Mama Jenkins said this is what he wants to kill people. He's a menace to this country and he needs to be stopped. His mouth is gonna get a lot of people murdered.
Yes.
Um, and I don't think it's just his mouth. I think it's his mentality. And
His
I think
actions.
the people, right, and the people that follow him blindly. I feel like there's a lot of people who feel like that this dude is somehow smarter or more advanced mentally than the rest of us. And he's not. He is not groundbreaking, pioneering, revolutionary, none of the above. He is a human that just does not put a premium on other humans' existence.
No.
You
And
know,
he has a sixth grade vocabulary. He's very unintelligent. No.
I don't like to say he's unintelligent because I think in order to be able to kind of rise to his level, there has to be some intelligence.
No, I
And
mean, far as people, understanding people. Being a
emotionally,
president
he's
for everyone.
ignorant. Yeah, well, yeah. Socially,
It's
he's
not
a
for
very awkward, very, 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 very morally corrupt individual. I don't
Yeah,
think.
that's what I mean when I'm saying that.
Yeah,
It's just you know what? He would have been better off being a president for all people. No, I mean, he would have actually been able to make more money because no one would pay attention to him. If he was just a regular, cool dude, independent, oh, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that, and was doing it, no one would be asking about the Epstein files. No one would be saying anything about his. If he just didn't focus on all of this stuff with people of color and minorities and all this stuff, and didn't send ICE and whatever, he could actually do more crime. He would have been able to get away with it. I don't understand why he did. That's my opinion.
well, I think he is the definition of a white man. When we say a white man, Trump is in the dictionary. Like, right, he is a elderly, wealthy white man who has no kind of tolerance for other people's rights.
No.
It's elbows and get out the way for me. It's shut your ass. It's like your ass is broke. Get out of here. It's like
Move.
right. It's that. It's the old school white man. I think that's why a lot of older white people like him because he's a throwback for them. He reminds them of the 50s and the 60s. He reminds them of when, you could kick a black dude in his ass and say, "Move, nigger." and nobody would bat an eye. Like, and I think white people
Nobody.
deep down inside, they may not want to admit it, but I think they reminisce about, and I think they felt great back in they were empowered. I think they look back at those times. You hear them talk about the good old days and the
Oh
whole
yeah.
slogan of "Make America Great Again." Well, what time period are you talking about? Are you talking about economically great? What are we saying? Military wise, like the only period of what could be assumed to be American greatness was 40s, 50s, 60s, 30s for post World War II, when America kind of became the big bully on the block. And if you look at those times, what is consistent is nobody else really has rights in the country except for white men. White women didn't even have their rights. They didn't even have equality, right? So then there was a movement to change things, which now is defined as this whole civil rights thing. I watched how they made woke, because woke was initially a black expression, just simply saying I'm aware of where we've come from and what we need to do and what's ailing us. And so they took that and made that kind of like a dirty word, and now they've taken civil rights and done the same thing. And I think the misnomer is
Yeah.
that black people are the poster children for civil rights. Well, what really happened, and if there's a criticism for my brother Martin Luther King, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., is that I think that they should have put more of a premium on who they were talking about in terms of us. I feel like more people kind of jumped on that bandwagon and enjoyed some of the rewards for it.
Yes.
Gay people, white women, other minority groups who were here, they kind of said, "Yo, what about us though?" And then it said, "Okay, well, okay, y'all got some here, 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 here," and we were just kind of left standing there. So once again, it should be more about empowerment versus inclusion. I'm not a brother who wants to be chummy, chummy, chum, chum, chum with white people. They're fine. They're human beings. I can shop with them. I can work with them. I can live with them.
Yeah.
But I'm not, like, it doesn't chafe my cheeks when they don't want me around in their areas.
Yeah.
Nah, I'd rather be with my own people. You know what I'm saying? Like, as long as I got the ability to live and go and shop and learn and work wherever I want to, I don't really care about whether or not there's white people there. It's just about me being empowered to move how I want to move, so that I
Yeah.
will have access to the resources I need to empower myself and my people. So I think there was a little bit too much put on, well, we show love y'all. You know what I'm saying? I think like all of the steppers and what we define as coons and Uncle Toms, we kind of created them because we created this thing where we wanted to be with them so bad. Oh, I wish I could live in their neighborhoods. Oh, I wish I could go to school with them. And it should have been about, no, just make sure we got the resources to create our own. And that would have been perfect for us. I don't think our communities would be where they are if we had never fallen for the okey doke and thinking that white ice is colder.
Nah,
Um,
that's what Malcolm X always believed anyway. He always said that the things he didn't like about segregation is, unlike how he liked his coffee, which was black. He said when you add cream to it, it dilutes it. It makes it make you weak. It's like he said it's like Novocaine. It makes you appreciate the sleepiness. I want you to put me to sleep and pacify me. So yeah, man, you ain't wrong, man. So unfortunate though, Kev. Because we have some of the greatest thinkers of all time. We've created some of the greatest inventions in modern history. And we just, like you said, a lot of it we can't put together in some of these neighborhoods. Because I mean, it's so many, most black people obviously don't commit crimes and stuff, although that's not what a lot of these Trump supporters think. Our friend, my racist of the week, our friend Scott Espetheth, or whatever his name is, these people truly believe, that black people are the detriment to society, the Charlie Kirks of the world, saying that black people were the, reasons for all of the evils in the world. And 80% of black fathers are not in the home. And just when you say this to these people, they'll say, no, 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 you misunderstood. And that's their first thing. Fake news. You misunderstood. You're taking things out of context. It's just the level of disrespect. So I just chose to, not really deal with a lot of them, the people that think like that, and some brothers too. You know, I've talked to a couple of Trumps, like my boy Chris. You know, much as I love him, he anytime you say something about Kirk, he just likes to say you misunderstand. No, it's out of context. You're not understanding. No, that's not what he meant. He was a man of God. No, he wasn't a man of God. He was a pure. He really he was a deceptive racist. You know what I mean? He was pure. You know, I mean, he was very excellent at letting you know he didn't like black people, but never said it, which is just, man,
Right.
amazing. Whatever.
A says a lot of people say integration messed us up because their opinion was never going to change. I think forcing things on people is always a struggle, and
Yeah.
I look at white flight, and I look at today. There was an article in the Journal Sentinel about how MPS is still segregated, even
Oof.
though Brother Lloyd Barbie put this lawsuit in, I believe, 1965, and um, Judge Reynolds, a federal judge, came through with some legislation in 1978 that said, no, you got to do this right now, because it was evident that the school system, despite whatever efforts, still was segregated.
Yeah.
I think when I see that, I know for a fact that it was that what you had was somebody telling somebody what they had to do. It was the government saying, no, you have to live with these people. You have to let them go to your schools. After how many years of saying, no, 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 you don't have to do that. No, no, we good. You cool. You're straight. And so when we talk about even to this day, like I did when I was looking at the numbers for in 1976, when Judge Reynolds took a look at MPS, it was 60% white and
Mm.
34% black. In 2026, it's 50% black and 9% white.
Woo.
Right now, but this coincides with a lot of white flight. When you say open housing was passed in 1968 in the city of Milwaukee. So what did a lot of white people do? They took their children out to schools, the neighborhood schools, and they moved. They moved to these suburbs, right? So of course the amount of white children in the schools go down. When I was a younger kid, and I came up because they talk about Chapter 220, which I believe came into fruition around 1980, 81. And they started to bus us to suburban schools. I went to middle school. So, Ian, you know about where Phillips School is and how centrally located it is in our neighborhood.
Perfect school. Perfect
Yeah,
location too, by the way.
for that neighborhood, it wasn't the only school. You had Keith Avenue, you had Green Bay, you had
Mhm.
Garden Homes, you had Franklin. There was elementary schools, right? And you went to the elementary school that was adjacent to your neighborhood. Well, when they started to do 220, I ended up going to middle school at Bell Middle School, which is probably 45 minutes to an hour away from my home. It's across the street from Hamilton High School. So, I lived on 17th and Capitol, and this was on 65th and Warnemont, right? This is them forcing us out to those suburbs. And, what was the effect? What did it have? Do I look back at that and say, now that was quality education? I don't, because my bus picked me up in the hood and took me south, straight through the hood in the city. And that's how I met cats from Brown Street and Burleigh and Center and
Yep.
Cherry Ring. That's how I met them, because of that busing. And I don't think the quality of education was any better out there. Even though I look at
No, it wasn't.
down the street from my house where Parkman Middle School was, my mother was absolutely against us going to Parkman. Burroughs on the northwest side, I taught at Burroughs. Burroughs for a very long time was a challenge as far as discipline goes. Webster, same thing. The middle schools here they weren't run well. That's why we don't have middle schools here really anymore. You know what I'm saying?
No,
They
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 weren't
they,
ran
they
very
kind of
well.
phased that out. And it was a difficult dynamic. I taught in middle school, and I just because it's such a bridge from being in elementary school, being a kid, to going to high school, where you become a young person, a young adult, basically. And so it's just a difficult time for kids developmentally from sixth grade to eighth grade. You're managing puberty and all kinds of different stuff. Like it's a tough sell, but Yeah,
man.
so I think that
We,
the fact that white people most like my parents purchased our home on Capitol from some white people. And there were still some very elderly white people who lived in that neighborhood who didn't move, but they didn't interact with the neighborhood either.
no, they
Uh,
did not. I had a couple on our block too. They just we would see Mr. Bob. He had a white wife. She was nice to us, but there was one other white couple. They were polite and respectful, but they never interacted with us. Never on 13th Street. Because Coco lived on 12th and then we was on 13th. And dog never interacted with us, but they were very polite though. Yeah.
right. I mean, there was a lot. And I know that their children probably were adults and some of them were great great grandparents, grandparents, and so
Oh yeah.
they didn't interact with the rest of the neighborhood. And I think it was just a point where they
Mm.
were like, well, we've been here this long, we're not gonna sell our house. We're gonna stay here. And so
Yeah. Yeah.
um this is Shabaka. How you doing, Shabaka? He said facts. Earl Henning says Milwaukee was Wisconsin, Pulaski High. Yeah, South Side, right? Pulaski, that's another one where you have because the South Side has always been a white kind of
Yeah.
stronghold in
Yeah.
Milwaukee.
White hub. Yes.
Right. The South Side is still to this day mostly white. And they have a way of letting you know when you go to the South Side, like, yo, well, what are you doing here? You got to get back across the bridge.
Oh yeah.
Shabaka.
Bought my first house over there. Right off
Wow.
of Clayton Crest.
Wow. I don't even know where
Mhm.
that's at.
Yep.
um, Shabaka says, I remember back in the late 1970s in Boston, there was busing issues, and Jet Magazine had a photo of three cave beasts beating a black man with a pole of an American flag. Yeah, Boston is a place that mirrors Milwaukee in terms of the level of segregation. And they had a very, very, very tumultuous time implementing integration in the public school system, like a lot of places around the country did. Here in Milwaukee, it was a tough sell because it wasn't a whole lot you could have done as a white person to be on the north side to black people because this is kind of a stronghold for us. We like I've spoken with old OGs who went to Madison High School on the northwest side here, and they were saying like, our biggest challenge of going out to the northwest side of Milwaukee was greasers. So like you see this imagery of what's my man name on Happy Days, Fonzie. Fonzie was a greaser. You know what I mean? And greasers didn't like brothers and sisters. So
No, not at all.
I used to talk to Rick Muhammad, and he used to talk about this huge race riot that they had at Madison, late 70s, early 80s, in which, it was kicked off by some conflict with some bikers, with some greasers. So yeah, there was it's integration was tough to implement all around the country. So Boston was definitely one of those hotspots.
Oh
But
yeah.
so now the question is with Milwaukee Public Schools is, yo, like, do we need to be focusing on diversification because will that improve NPS? Well, first of all, NPS has a lot of other issues,
God,
uh,
yes.
like that 50% truancy rate when it comes to foundational black babies. So let's focus on that. We have some achievement gaps for math and science. Those scores of our children, our babies versus their suburban counterparts. Let's work on the quality of the curriculum before we worried about trying to get white people back in NPS. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
Like
yeah.
let's start producing a more functional group of graduates that are prepared for the modern day workforce. Um so and recognize that Milwaukee is a segregated city. It's no surprise that
Yes.
the school system is segregated. It's one of the most segregated places in the country besides Boston, I think.
Yeah, and it's
Um,
been like that for a while now, though. It's
for a
been
very
like that
long
for a while.
time.
Yeah, for as long as me and you've been alive. And speaking of as long as you and me been alive, just to give people some context of Chapter 220, that was a law that was created. This is the purpose in 1975. I think that's the year you were born, correct, Kev?
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. And it was implemented. The first year was 1976, September through 1977. And it was just basically what Kevin is obviously saying. About 6,600 students began attending desegregated schools in 1976 in September, and over 50 schools meeting the court's initial balance goals. So my mom, she still, even when we moved, because we moved to 28th and Roosevelt, Garden Homes is over there. So we
Right.
had left 13th and Capitol. We had moved over there, and that was right before crack really started hitting or whatever. Because my stepfather, God rest his soul, he got it. My dad too. They got addicted to it, and our family got wrapped up being part of a subculture and involved with drug trafficking and selling. And you saw what it did. But my mom made sure we still went to Philip, which was crazy. When we moved, dude, she made sure she wouldn't let us go to Garden Homes. She made sure we still went to Philip. She thought it was important. Because I went to Gospel Lutheran for like a year and a half. We
Mm.
went there, we went there for a little bit. And then after that, it was whatever. And about ninth grade, I stopped going to school in ninth grade. I had to work. So, that happened. And my sister, started, she was focusing. We moved out to my mom moved out to the south side. Then they went to Hamilton. But the neighborhood schools thing was just excellent. You know what I mean? Like, I always believe that people should go to their neighborhood schools. And that's one thing I wanted to throw at you. What do you think it would take? I mean, you've said it before on the program, but what do you think it would take to get to the point to where, because man, I used to walk to Philip. That was a good feeling. Like, I used to walk to school in the first grade. You know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong. My mom would watch me, but I'd walk with Terrence, Coco and them, and be in a little group, and you see him, and then you go to Miss Richardson's, you know what I'm saying? And then you walk to school. We had the house on 15th and Capitol as well. So we saw everything over there, and it was cool, man. And that's why when we say Joey Phillips, he sounds very familiar. I think I probably know him too. But yeah, what do you think it's gonna take, Kevin, to get back to that? Because it's bad right now, brother. Like, you can't do that no more.
I think what we deal with is a question of economics. And I
Yeah.
feel like the one thing that we had during that time was our parents in that community were able to work and take care of us.
So
And there
true.
were a lot of traditional households like my mom and my dad, and there was, grandparents were still grandparents.
Live downstairs.
Yeah. Or just there, present in your life.
Yep.
I think we have to get back to an economic development plan, or get to one, not back to one, but get to one, because that industrial collapse in the early 80s that coincided with the crack epidemic, the Ronald Reagan Republican engineered crack epidemic in the United States of America, kind of is a perfect storm for dysfunction, and it destroyed a community. But I think we have to get this money back right. And I think that will empower us. I think that will put us in positions to say, I can go to my kid's school. One thing about Philip was, since it was in the community, parents could go there when you was in trouble. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Parent teacher conferences, they're going there when you're in trouble. Um,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
there was so many of us who went to that school that knew each other because of that school. It created a sense of community. Like, years later, I would see someone who I knew, because I was pretty far away in terms of the actual boundaries for the school. And that's why I always shout out 4100, because those brothers lived in the shadow of Philip. I
Yep.
actually probably lived further south than everybody, because I
Yeah.
lived on Capitol Drive. But I
Yeah.
grew up with all of those brothers because we all went to Philip. We all knew each other from Philip. So,
I talked to Tamika until a few years ago, until she passed away. Tamika Galloway.
right. I mean, I come across people all the time. There's actually a group on Facebook called the Rufus King Neighborhood Group, and almost
Nice.
everybody in that group went to Philip. So, that's why.
Oh, I'm gonna go in there. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, that's the neighborhood right there. Mama Jenkins said Trump knows his ass is going to jail after this midterm election. He telling people they must go vote and win this election because he's going to be impeached. I just wish that there was an age limit for senators and the Supreme Court. Those old pissy white men are true to form racist when it comes to black folks. Our schools is what does this say? What's this number she's put up in here? I'm sorry.
Commodity.
Our schools is a commodity now. Kev, we need those middle schools back. They didn't interact. They didn't interact at the factory jobs either.
Mm.
Shabaka says, now in Los Angeles, they were busing black students from South Central Los Angeles to the West San Fernando Valley.
Whew.
Yeah. They said crazy thing was growing up inside West Lawn, there was every nationality under the moon, from Asian to Hispanic to
Yes.
Caucasians to black.
Yeah.
This is Shabaka saying, I just wish they would convict the bastard. He's talking about Trump.
You talking about Trump?
Mama Chicken said family supporting jobs and home ownership. Ruben Anderson, what it do, man? What it do? How you doing? He said, good evening, kings and queens. How you doing, Ruben? Welcome aboard.
So
A says we also have to gain control of our youth. As long as there is a lack of respect from our youth, it's going to be hard to have a constructive community. Remember, these were the days the kids would do the lawns and shovel snow for the elderly. Yeah,
oh yeah.
well, there was a lot more natural order for us. So we had that kind of structure in the neighborhoods where because you respected elders because you had elders in your family. Because you did have Big Mama who was elderly. You did have uncles and aunts who were elderly. So you respected them. I think right now the family dynamic has become a lot younger. We talk about grandmothers being younger nowadays, like, they don't get to really get the knowledge of the elderly. They don't get the investment from the elderly because more often than not, if somebody's elderly and needs some of these communities, they are staying in the house with the doors locked, shades down, windows closed, and they ain't coming out because it's treacherous in those neighborhoods. They're not protected. Dion, I see you in the chat room. He said, what up, bro? How you doing, man? Welcome to Outlaw Radio. The truth is tonight. That's what it's called. The truth is. Y'all can hit the line 262-202-5131. Or you can just chill in the chat room and pop your shit like you always do, like a lot of you always do. I'll tell you something that's black, that's foundational black business right now that people are pissed off about. Boy, this boy Drewski got he got the black religious community in a tailspin right now. Drewski is one of these social media comedian type individuals. It's a whole wave of individuals who have interesting comic pursuits, but they don't go on the typical traditional Chitlin circuit to pursue the stand-up route. They utilize the internet. Drewski is one of them. Skits, just social media appearances, anything that's connected to social media. Well, if you haven't seen it, Drewski it's in the People's News Network. He did a mockery of mega churches, and there's a lot of I want to say buffoonery, but I think some people will refer to it as pageantry. There's a lot of pageantry that goes on in the church now where you see pastors on the wires suspended from the ceiling with smoke machines, and the sound has become more contemporary. The music, I think in some ways there's been some adjustments made to try and welcome people into the church. And I'm saying our whole sexual orientation thing with homosexuality and stuff like that, and just morally and socially, some of the things that the church used to kind of police the community. The church used to be moral police for the community, but now some of these things are accepted in the church. And so some people criticize the church, but then it also comes down to the money. This has been a big thing for a very long time in terms of pastors and leaders in the church who maybe have a very large ministry and they procure a lot of money. And so sometimes the production value of the church is taken up a notch. And so you see Drewski, he's suspended with the smoke blowing and he's got the music playing, and then he talks about, oh my gosh, when he says he's gonna impregnate the elderly lady who can't have children and all this kind of stuff, right? Like, people are really upset at Drewski. Like Drewski is getting some major feedback. So I'd like to know how y'all think about that. I and so some of the portrayals of what I see right now in terms of how the church or how spirituality or Christianity is promoted is totally different from the way it was that I was raised, because I was raised by Southern Baptists, OG old school Southern Baptists, and there was a lot of things like, I came from a time where you couldn't chew gum in the church. You couldn't really get up and leave at certain times. women couldn't wear certain things, certain attire. Pastors couldn't do or say certain things. But even then, there was. I mean, you put a bunch of humans together in a room, something's gonna go left. So even then, there was some stuff going on in the church. It's always been a very controversial kind of dynamic. But I think he was honest in his portrayal of it. I don't know if he is the person that needs to be like. 'Cause so you have to say what qualifies you to make this criticism or expose these behaviors. Some people may look at him as somebody who's just trying to besmirch the reputation of the black church. But I think there
Oh
was some honesty in his portrayal of some of the antics that go on in the church right now. I've seen some stuff that comes from what I guess this is African churches. Um, I'm just like, yo, are you serious? Like it's crazy. And so, but I'm not ever one to question someone's spiritual connection. Like I can't
no.
look at a pastor and say you're not a real man of God. Like I don't have that ability, and nor do I have the right to do it. So I would never question someone's commitment. Now, I may look at something and say, "Yo, that don't look right to me," or "That looks unusual to me."
Yes.
But I think what he did was just a parody, right? And I didn't. He didn't. So I didn't. He didn't parody the word or belief in God. Now,
Not at all. No,
some
he didn't.
people parody. They make parodies of that. Like I used to watch Bill Maher a lot,
Ugh.
and he would make all these atheist jokes because he's an atheist, and after a while, it just started to wear thin with me. Like, yo, I feel like you're making a mockery of God. Like, so to me, it ain't about the ceremony. It's not about the service. It's about the quality of the word that is given to you, so that you can understand this thing a lot more. So Drewski is getting heat, dog. I don't know if you've seen this.
I did, but the thing is though, Kev, and I'm gonna go back to you one more time, because people like to make fun because I acknowledge when things are intelligent. But you said hit dogs holler. You're upset about it because you know that he's talking to you. I watched that skit probably 4 times back to back because it was funny as hell. With that said, though, he wasn't mocking the word of God. He wasn't mocking Christ. I was trying to, kind of pull that out of it. He really wasn't. He was making fun of how they do certain things as far as the
Right.
theatrical aspect of, some of the services and all that kind of stuff. And the fact that a lot of them brothers, some of the ones in the mega churches wear expensive suits and red bottoms. It's true. That's why it's funny. You know what I mean? So yeah, man, I'm with you on that one. And like me, I'm a Catholic. I have no issues. Catholic means universal. I got my pen on right here, Knights of Columbus. I'm a third-degree knight. We don't have no issues with other religions. The only religion I have an issue with is our evangelical brothers and sisters because they like to really side with Trump a lot. I mean, I'm speaking tongue to cheek, but the ones in the South. But for the most part, they're okay people. It's just that's about it, man. I'm with. I thought it was funny, dude. He caught heat too, Kev, when he was pretending to be a white man when he was in whiteface, and he did that too. Yeah, he caught some heat for that one as well. But whatever, man. I think people need to loosen up, man. I thought it was funny, man. I like that brother Drewski. He pretty
I'm,
entertaining.
I'm glad he's not a bot, and I'm glad that he uses his platform to be more than just,
Yeah.
he's to be dismissed as just a social media personality. But like
Yeah.
once again,
No.
I didn't take his skit as, oh yo, so God ain't real, or this spirituality is not real. I took it as what it was, which was, yeah, people put on right now.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, they go all out to get the money. And so, but it's true that if you go to some churches, you'll see some theatrics and you'll say, yo, that was crazy. And it's true. So, people need to calm down, but everybody, you pick and choose. It's a selective rage. You pick and
How do
choose
you
what you want to be mad about.
I was gonna ask you too. I mean, kind of to move to a different thing. I saw something the other day where Charlemagne, I believe this was about 6 days ago, where Dame Dash had said, he was making fun because Dame Dash was an employee for Def Jam. Like he never says any of this. Like me personally, I'm not a fan of Dame Dash. I just don't like his demeanor. Don't like how he operates. I think he did some brilliant things with Jay-Z and Kareem Biggs, but I'm just like, Jesus Christ, man. Like anybody that works for a company, he would be Adam and all this kind of stuff. And these brothers signing hundreds of $1 million deals. The only thing I personally don't like about the Breakfast Club is the gossip aspect. And I think, some of the feminine things, him and Envy kind of a little bit with the, the homosexuality playing around. I don't think, I don't really like that too much. But that's just my preference. I'm not knocking him. I think some of it's entertainment. But he was making some good points. He kept saying all the stuff I've been saying for years about Dame. I'm like, weren't you an employee at Def Jam? Rockefeller was like a subsidiary. I mean, I've researched this. They were with them. Don't get me wrong. It's not like they were just employees, you know what I mean? But no, they were, they were under Def Jam, the Def Jam umbrella. So I don't know, man. I'm looking at a lot of this stuff as far as the critical nature of the Drewski skid and what a real man is and red pill stuff. And it really makes me appreciate, as far as what we do, because I've had people like, especially over the past couple of weeks, like my sister, she don't really pay attention to a lot of this stuff, because, she's a therapist, CEO, my business partner. She is so busy with so much other stuff, and she takes time out to watch us. And she's like, you know what? She's like, you guys are really, really good. Your chemistry is excellent. Like, you talk about things that are necessary, and it's not a lot. You don't say things for clicks. That's what she said about you specifically. She was like, please. After she made the comment, it was like, stop having babies with them white women. My sister funny, Mrs. Jakashira. But she also said, she was like, you guys don't say anything for clicks. Specifically, Kevin and Kamar, like, none of us. That's why the chemistry is good. We don't say things just to say it. And I think that's a problem with, far as being on terrestrial radio, possibly, and those kind of things. Because can you imagine if we were on a time slot in Milwaukee and we could start talking about what's going on with that type of reach? That, Kevin, that's not good. And I can tell you a lot of reasons why that will not be a good idea, because when you start opening up people's minds, it'd be like a revisiting of the Black Panther movement when they did that in Oakland. Like, look at what they're doing to you. This is it. We can have guns too. You understand the laws. Stand up to your oppressors. You know what I'm saying? So I got some theories on this stuff, man. I'm just saying, but we live in a world now where everybody wants to be critical. You have an administration right now that's doing everything to dumb you down and distract you, so you're not paying attention to what's going on, where these rich people are doing their thing. Or you have people like us, foundational Black Americans. Why don't you jump into the fights with all these other little fights and doom, when what we should be doing is focusing on our business. Let's focus on economics, and let's focus on having some type of political strategy, and let's get behind some type of formative leadership. So yeah,
And shout out to your sister. Listen,
oh, absolutely.
I don't, a lot of things that we talk about on the show, I put them on as talking points because it's part of the conversation that we're having amongst ourselves. I'm not really a person who's looking for clicks or approvals. No. Like I would hope you like what we present and what I've been presenting. I would hope that you have interest in it, but I'm not specifically looking for stuff to say, no, oh, people are going to love this, because I'm not selling myself, right? This is about information. This is about us distributing information to try and let people know what the nuts and bolts are in terms of being a foundational Black American. So I'm not selling my personality. I don't, hey, please like me. Like, I'm not a person who's ever wanted people.
No,
I hope everybody likes me.
You ain't on that.
Because I've known for a very long time, when it comes to me, most people who I meet, especially people who I become cool with, probably didn't like me the first time they met me. Like, yo, the first time I met you, man, I was like, yo, this dude right here. Like,
first time I talked to you, I said something. It's funny. I think this was like 2016. I was on the phone. It was me, you, and Mr. Owens. And I said something, man. I see you be doing your little thing or whatever. He was like, hey, man, I don't be doing no little thing. I'm like, no. It's just because, I had moved from where we lived. I had moved over to Meineke. And that's how when we say little, we mean big, whatever. but you thought I was insulting you. You like wasn't playing no games. I was like, no, man. I mean, I respect what y'all do, man, over there. Y'all dope or whatever. I was like, man, y'all doing y'all thing. That's when me and Mr. Owens were a lot cooler back then, you know. But yeah, man, that's crazy though. You're absolutely right, man.
I seldom I, I can't think of any situation where I go into that I want people to like me. I've always been a person like I'd rather you respect me than like me. Like it's not really about you liking me. It's more about you respecting me like a man. So
yeah,
that's always been kind of like my MO to say, you might not like me, but I'm going to demand that you respect me, and in return, I'm going to respect you back.
absolutely.
Ruben Anderson in the chat room, he said, just admit it. They've lost their minds. Are we talking about the black churches? Or are we talking about white people?
He's talking about white Trump supporters. I know exactly what he's talking about. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know that.
Girl said gun in the corner of the room.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, you know, a bunch of guns in the corner of the room.
Yeah. Okay. Exactly.
They like short sleeves. I bear arms. Ace Cooley said the question about the Drewski skit is: Did he have a mirror? Did he hold a mirror up to the face of the mega church?
That's a whole nother show, Kev. That's
Ruben said he got to go watch it. Mama Jenkins says yes, and yes he do. He is not playing with. People need to watch it. I'm a preacher's daughter, and he's making those pastors upset.
Yeah, of course he is. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who feel a certain kind of way. Shout out to Ewok. He said, if you're a pastor and your congregation trusts you, why would you be mad? Yeah. People don't like to be called out. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of these people, this is their doctrine. This is their mission. This is their what they call their ministry. So they don't want you, you know, making fun of something that they hold in high regard. A lot of the ability to say, hey, we can do all of these things to present now. Because I feel like a lot of pastors feel like if Satan can dress his message up and make it flashy and then it attracts people, if we do the same thing for our message, it will do the same thing for us. So it's like meeting people where they're at.
So Christ did.
Let me see. Shabaka said churches got 501(c) tax deductions. A lot of these pastors, not all, are pulpit pimps, and I don't mean no disrespect.
That's going to change.
Yeah, there's going to be some situations where you have, you know, some pastors who may be more financially motivated. That's human nature. I believe if you are at the head of a successful ministry that engages the community, that is leading people to higher understanding and helping them obtain the retribution, because what you normally go to church for is retribution, to say my soul is sick. I believe you should be compensated anyways. So I don't have an issue with it.
Oh, okay. Let me. You know what? Okay. As far as what you just said, it makes me mad about that specifically because you're absolutely right. You look at the Catholic Church. You have a deacon, you have a priest, and you have a deacon, right? The deacon, you know, he handles parts of the sermon. He does certain things depending upon your church and how large it is. He usually lives on a house on the property. You know what I mean? He lives on a house in the back. He doesn't have to pay the bills because his job is to engage with the community. You know, his job is to research and, you know, do things with the word. Involve yourselves with charities, Catholic Church. Involve yourself with Habitat for Humanity. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, Kev, it's like that's a job. So when these people constantly, and I think these people are tools for Satan, where they literally try to knock everything about Christianity, everything about you believing in God, just so they can have something to say. And it really is sad, man, because the church does a lot in a lot of different communities. And they do a lot of things. Sometimes they build houses, or sometimes they have food drives, you know, things like that, food banks, and they do help people, but you don't hear about it all the time. But man, it's messed up. The churches are under attack, but they've been under attack for a long time. But yeah, man, it's embarrassing, bro. It really is, because they do a lot of good work. So that's my take on it.
A says back in the old days, the problem in the church was the gossip and the fashion shows.
Yeah, those days. That's Shaquila not a problem as much anymore.
How you doing, Shaquila? She said, hey, how you doing, Shaquila? What's going on? My sister from the Panthers.
Hello.
I got you. Let me finish my chat room. Give me a second, Dion. Hold on. Ruben Anderson says common criticisms of contemporary Christian churches often include issues with leadership, the blending of faith and secular culture and politics, and the prioritization of style over biblical depth.
Oh,
That's a very
Jesus.
good observation,
God,
Ruben.
you can tell he's a pastor.
Or at least that he's been to church.
Yeah,
Shabaka
very
said at
intelligent.
one time the church was very sacred, was very sacred for our liberation.
Yeah.
Kerry Walker Jones says the mentality of some of the people in the church explains why we have the president we have.
Oh.
She said they need the needy mind is the easiest to conquer. Man, the chat room is popping. Shabaka says the
Yeah,
church
it
is
is.
meeting places for the strategic moves during the civil rights era and the Black empowerment movement as well. Ruben Anderson said, "So you research the Catholic faith. So you research the Catholic faith. You understand the history of the Catholic Church."
Yeah. And it's not a good one altogether, no.
Shabaka says Charlie Kirk was a racist and got beamed up by Scotty.
That's the comment of the day.
I don't understand how his wife has turned into the twerk queen now. Like, I'm like, what is up with this? Why is she becoming?
Damn, she shaking her ass.
She is a twerker now. She twerks.
Yeah.
She twerks like she's like really like it's crazy. Ruben says, so am I to understand that you are okay with the history of the Catholic Church and that you have researched the church well? I don't knock with nobody belief. I was taking it back to when I heard you say that you belong to the Catholic Church. He's asking you, do you have a problem with some of the criticisms of what the Catholic Church, some of their historical.
Yeah, a lot of the stuff that the Catholic Church did back in the day, especially with the priests and all this nonsense or whatever. And I used to get into it with a lot of them. But the reason I like the Catholic Church is because a lot of it is a progressive religion. You know what I mean? As far as in regard to, being a free thinker, like we had gay people in our church or whatever, we had those kind of things. And I think it's more of a church thing. The church that I like just happened to be a Catholic church. And that's where I went for the past 20 years almost now. So in regard to the whole thing, you know what I'm saying? It's not like, oh, the Pope talks, he's God. No, but I ain't gonna lie. I do like this Pope. He is from O Block. You know what I'm saying? And I think he a decent dude. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, and he hate Trump. So I feel him on that. So yeah, as far as the history, we got a lot of it's bad history all around. So I understand where Ruben is coming from, but no, I'm very comfortable where I am.
Earl Henning said he haven't killed anyone. Who we talking about, Earl? Ace says, don't mean to change the subject, but have y'all seen that clip with Anton Daniels and Corey Holcomb?
Yes.
And I was gonna talk about it because I'm not really secure on who Anton Daniels is. And I seen it and I was like, well, who is this dude? But this is Joey Phillips. JoJo says, yeah, Kev, I can recall nights my brother and I was able to spend the night for the weekend. Black Belt Theater, yes, sir.
Oh, 18.
Channel 18. Sunday Pops got us up and off to church. We went no hats, no gum chewing, just church. Mega churches has too many different cliques and they all don't get along together. Yeah, if you stayed at our house, everybody understood if you're gonna spend the night, you got to go to church on Sunday morning.
Yeah, prerequisite.
Speak on that. Kerry Walker Jones said churches are not places of worship anymore. They're in competition for the almighty dollar. Anytime my pastor can preach to the congregation about the need to give up worldly items while he's draped in platinum, that's a problem.
You ain't lying.
Caught up in the chat room. Now I have Dion on the line. Dion, what's popping with you, man? Or I had him online. Did he hang up? Or did I have him waiting too long?
As soon as I go put this banana lasty coffee in my mouth, now you gonna call him.
Right, I don't know.
Now you gonna call on me.
Banana taffy in your mouth. Like, that's on you. What's happening, man?
No, Kev, don't go there.
Banana lasty coffee. I would say, hold on, let me swallow it, but y'all said it's too much. Damn, you gonna fuck me all on, man. I ain't see that whole Drewski. I didn't see that whole Drewski clip. Cause the banana lasty coffee get caught up in your teeth and shit. But yeah, I didn't see that whole Drewski clip. You know what I'm saying?
It's good.
It's a lot of I be hearing a lot of people because, like, I don't know, man. You already know how I feel about the creator. You know what I'm saying? So, but it's a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? Even just question the existence of God. You know what I'm saying? That's my whole thing right there. You know what I'm saying? It's questioning existence. You know, I think we want to believe in something to give us cause for our existence, but ain't no really concrete hard evidence. You know, like people would be like angels, you know, and this, that, and the other. But you know, that's neither here nor there. So, but I mean, he's basically, you know, making a mockery of it. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, shit, you know, you see it. You know what I'm saying? Especially with some of the white pastors, you know, he got a private jet. Some of them got Rolls Royces, Bentleys, big, you know what I'm saying? So that's all he did, you know what I'm saying, was just brought it to the light though, you know what I'm saying? So I was listening to I'm gonna have to Google that with Erica Kirk twerking, because she ain't got no ass to be twerking. I hate when white people, you know what I'm saying? That's that culture vulture shit, but you know, that's the thing. It is though, man. It is. That's that culture vulture stuff, man. You know, there's just so much going on, man. You know, like the other day when we was talking, and I had to really like sometimes to keep it real, bro, you got to decompress from this shit. You know what I'm saying? You just got to take a step back and be like, okay, I don't want to hear no politics. You know what I'm saying? I consume myself with it. I consume myself with it damn near every day. I'm listening to Malcolm Vance. I don't know if you're familiar with him. Roland Martin. I listen to Michelle Bryan in the morning. I listen to Sherwin. I listen to CNN. So many different people. Joy Reid, Don Lemon. You know what I'm saying? I be bumping heads with motherfuckers. Like, I was talking crazy to some people on WISN, you know, 11:30, you know, because they said something about the dude that was tackling Trump, that he got laid off with. He had raised like over $200,000, but Trump flipped him the bird. You know what I'm saying? So, and then, you know, seeing everything that's going on, you know, they talking about they want to do a mass strike in Minnesota. I think the United States of America, that will bankrupt the United States of America. If everybody one day, they go to Walmart, they find no planes, they drive no buses. They can't fire all of them. They can't. Now, they can do some disciplinary action, but they going to see we standing in unison with these motherfuckers. Because we sick of dude in the White House. We sick of all this other shit going on. You know what I'm saying? So I was just listening to that. And then, you know, they was talking about like shit. You know, they said, it was some on WISN. They was like, dude got internal bleed. Like, how? The woman didn't even hit dude. And he called her a bitch after he shot her and killed her. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's just like, oh my God, I got to decompress from it. Then, so when I try to decompress from that, I see in Georgia, because I watch, I don't know if you guys be looking at, it's some content creators that been to prison. Like one guy, his name Banky Pound. Banky did 33 years. One guy named Michael Lewis. He was the youngest person ever in the state of Georgia that was convicted of murder and gave a life sentence at 13. He just got out last year, did 26 years. My other guy, Bill, did 9. My other guy did 15. My other guy did 10. So right now in the state of Georgia, they had riots in the prison, the GDs versus the Bloods. And, you know, I was just breaking down the science. You know, I was talking to my gal, and I was telling her, you know, like, we don't have Bloods. The only place I think we could probably got Bloods and shit is like in Michigan and maybe in Minnesota, but mainly in the Midwest, we got GDs and vice lords. And then, you know, on the Memphis got vice lords, Mississippi got vice lords, Georgia got a lot of GDs and Bloods, you know what I'm saying? But they ain't got all that shit, you know, like in New York, they got some GDs and Crips and Bloods, but I was just breaking it down. So it's just so much going on around the world, man. You know, man, I don't know what to do sometimes, man. You know what I'm saying? It's just crazy, man. It's like, you got to take a break from some of this shit, though. The cost of living going up. We was talking about how escrows. You know, I can't, if you own, your house bought and paid for, you don't owe nothing on it no more.
I mean, without telling my personal business, I mean, I got bills.
Oh, okay. Because I did hear you say something, but I'm like, this nigga paid his house off, but yeah, the escrow going up, like, everything going up, man. You know, MPS ain't nothing but a vampire. And I heard them talking, I heard they had some type of forum or something, you know, and then they talking about they talking about joining schools together, closing schools down, and it's just so much going on. And then the murders, everything. I don't even be knowing about all the people that get killed. My mama be like, did you hear about the person on 84th Mill Road got killed and this person got killed? I'll be like, it's just so encapsulating, you know what I'm saying, the world and everything. I'm like, it's tough, man. I'm surprised that, you know, you need some type of crutch, you know. I don't know what my crutch is, maybe eating these motherfucking banana laffy taffies, because I just had some motherfucker. What you call them? Turtle candy, and then that's too much sweets though, with the banana laffy taffies and the turtle candy and all that. But it's just I don't know, man.
Well,
It's just
Dion,
so much. Man,
Dion, to kind of interject, like I want to interject 2
What up?
points. One point was just look at what we did to Target when brothers and sisters really stopped shopping at Target. They fired the CEO about a month and a half ago. A lot of people don't
I don't
know
believe
that,
that we did that though.
yeah, that
I
got
don't
us.
believe that we totally did it.
Well, no, I'm not saying we totally did it, but we were a big part of it, believe it or not, because a lot of us shop at Target, one. And two, far as the thing where you said, as far as the decompress and whatever from all this stuff, and I look at your page and stuff, like, you a avid, like lover of vehicles and cars. I see that. You got a lot of stuff, you're intelligent, you got a lot of stuff going on, man. I mean, I see you out here, brother. You're doing your thing.
Boy,
So I'm with you, though. It's unfortunate.
I stay into it with white people. On my mom, I do, because I just be going in on them, man. Because they believe everything. Like, by me traveling to the South a lot, I subscribe to Memphis news, South Carolina news, Mississippi. Mississippi is channel. Oh my God, they the worst ones. Lord have mercy. Them white folks in Mississippi is crazy. You know what I'm saying? I stay into it with them. That's why I changed my name, didn't I, kid? Because that's not my real name. Maybe one day I'll tell you my real name, but I don't like, because the motherfucker Google me, dog, had my address and everything, and from that
they
day
did that to me too. But why are you
Yeah.
getting into it with them when honestly though, Dion, let's just be honest. You are a smart dude. I mean, like I said, I was gonna do like with me and with News Undone and all this kind of stuff. I'm just no longer engaging with these unintelligent people, because anybody that can see the stuff that's going on right now and think that it's okay is not somebody that is really operating on intelligence. They're just stupid. And I'm not wasting my breath or my time. Build your businesses up, get your side hustle, work your job like you've been doing. Because I heard you say you got certifications you're going to get. Keep doing that, brother, because these people aren't worth your time. They're just a distraction. They're like the Judas word of Jesus. They're here to confuse things, in the words of Tupac, quoting that. No, forget these people, man. I mean, yeah, they're just dumb.
I hear when Dion talks about decompression, I think that's a very important thing.
It really is.
We live in this 24-hour news loop, and you can plug in at any given time. I've woke up early in the morning, sometimes 3, 4 in the morning, go get me something to drink, whatever, use the bathroom. Just take a look at my phone, and it's breaking news. Right, like it never goes off. When I was young, the news went off at 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock, and the television station went off after midnight.
Yes,
right?
sir.
They play the national anthem and then it'd be over, right? Unless you're gonna watch MASH, which I never did. But no, I'm with Dion. Sometimes you do need to unplug. That's why sometimes we don't do shows. If my mind is ever fatigued and I'm saying I don't even want to talk about it tonight. I don't. And I think people should do that. I think some days you should unplug and say, you know what, because if you're taking in all this, just kind of like, just all you're reading about is destruction, dysfunction, death.
Yeah.
It kind of clouds your outlook. So I think sometimes you do have to step away and take a deep breath and say, okay, let me go. You have to remind yourself that it ain't all bad. I think that's the main thing. So a lot of times I would tell people, have something in your life that's positive. Whether it's a relationship, whether it's a hobby, or like I have hobbies and I can invest fully in my hobbies just to get away from
all that nonsense.
Just always talking about this craziness that we have. Let me go to the chat room. I don't want to get behind.
I'm about to mute y'all real quick. I'm about to go turn my van on.
Okay.
One of your 10 cars.
A said,
one of them. You got to turn them on, let them run.
They said Dion probably thirsty as hell eating that banana taffy, Laffy Taffy.
That's actually true. It do make you, because it's salt in it. It do make you thirsty.
He said, "Fucking." This is Ace Cool. He said, "Fucking Steven Gonzo Miller just gonna give Ice, just gave Ice immunity to do whatever they want."
That's terrifying. Yes.
Earl says it's up to 800. What are we talking about, Earl?
What were we talking about?
Mama Jenkins says, I like Dion Mama. I keep up with all of that shit. Earl said it go with the weed.
My mom thinks she knows Mama Jenkins. Lula Mae Hall is her original name, Mama Jenkins. She thinks she know you.
Well, I can remember when my mother was still in the land of the living, she would call me and give me the rundown, like, where you at? It's like, I'm on my way home. Well, watch out over there by such and such street. They say the police over there. Some people done got shot and got their
Yep,
ass
be
shot up
careful.
over there. And so my mom did watch that, keep up with that news. As far as the murder goes, I see the occurrences, but I'm kind of like Ian. Like, I don't dive into it to get every detail because I don't want to be overly concerned with death. I think
No,
people who some people are just preoccupied with man, you hear about this dude doing this and they know all the details. I don't need to know. I used to,
nope.
when I was doing community organizing, I was with Safe and Sound. We used to go to community district meetings at the police station. And they would have a point where the homicide detectives would come in and do a presentation of all the homicides in that district
Oh God,
over the
yeah.
last 2 weeks. And so from the
Depressing.
photos of the scene to them telling what happened, I used to leave there shaking. Like, man, it's messed up, especially if
Yes.
children involved or some of the stories behind these homicides that you don't know. And then you find out about them. You're like, oh man, that was messed up. So I made up my mind then I wasn't going to be a person who was just preoccupied with death. Like,
No.
it's got to be more. That's why I love being outside, because the seasons changing, nature. A lot of times when it's warm outside, I can just stay outside because I can take deep breaths of fresh air and just kind of enjoy nature as opposed to staying locked on a phone or a TV watching all this craziness. Mama Jenkins said I used to be on Everybody Business Channel and news waves along with reading other cities' papers. I had to stop and declutter my mind.
Yes.
That you can't drift away. You can drift away in the bullshit. Yes,
Yes.
you can, Mama Jenkins. Yes, you can. Earl Henning said money for the man who lost his job for saying fuck Donald Trump at work. Yeah, I seen this is in Deerfield, Michigan, where
Yeah.
Trump was touring the facility and this guy said something to him and Trump gave him the middle finger. And they said they fired him because he heckled the president.
That's awful. Within itself, that's awful. I don't. I mean, what? I see it from both standpoints. Just me personally. Okay, this is. I mean, maybe I sound like a bit of a hypocrite. This week, I fired 2 people. Far as within this, far as 10 days, I fired 2 people. So I understand, far as from a business standpoint, when you're fearful of what the administration might do to your company, sanctions they can put down or whatever. But at the same time, I just wouldn't have mentioned it, and I just would have just said something to the guy. I wouldn't have fired and took away his livelihood. I don't even like firing people. I really don't. I actually get bothered by it. I mean, people usually, okay, let me rephrase that. People usually fire themselves. You know what I mean? I just facilitate just alleviating you from my company. But other than that, all that other stuff, though, man, it's kind of like, damn, it's just wild where we are right now. So this guy really lost his job, like, completely. I decompressed. I didn't know the gentleman lost his job. He lost his
I
job. That's
seen it.
horrible.
I'm what you call a habitual scroller,
That
because
is
I scroll past and I read the headlines. And I don't click on everything. So I did see that he lost his job. Some stuff I assume is clickbait, anyways.
Yeah, let me look that up. That's horrible.
But having a clear mind is very important, because if you don't, you'll make rash decisions that are misinformed.
Yes.
You'll make mistakes, and your understanding should always be flexible. So you also have to be ready to hear both sides of a story. And more often than not, the media is not going to give you both sides. I do
No.
want to say I am happy that after how many years, charges have been filed in the Corey Stingley murder. If
Oh,
you
nice.
remember the brother Corey Stingley, who was murdered in West Dallas, I believe, a long time ago.
A little while ago.
He was observed taking liquor, stealing some alcoholic beverages, and then 2 white dudes decided. I guess there was actually 3 individuals who decided that they were going to be the police, and they restrained him. He perished because they basically were put so much force on him that he couldn't breathe. So he died from asphyxiation. Well, and I actually spoke with his dad when we used to do the Panther Power Hour. Myself and the general, Daryl Farmer, and with the Panthers, he called in one night, and he was a very intelligent brother. He spoke about the fact that he couldn't get justice and that these individuals had not been charged, even though it was obvious that they overdid, because you restrain this dude for, I don't know, 30 minutes or so, a long amount, a great amount of time, and you basically murder him. But I guess today, 67-year-old Robert Behringer, and he's from Waukesha, and 39-year-old Jesse Cole was charged. Um,
Good.
well, one is from Waukesha, one is from somewhere else, and there's another individual who actually has passed away since. So they've been charged with his murder, with Corey Stingley's murder. Shout out to his pops. And man, let justice be served, man. We no more Emmett Tills, no more, allowing
Horrible.
them to murder a youngster, and there's no justice. I even read that George Zimmerman, who murdered what's the young brother's name?
Trayvon Martin.
Yeah, they said he's homeless and jobless and he's struggling right now in life, and he's
Oh
like,
wow.
that's good, because at one point he was like painting pictures and selling shit, and painting pictures of Skittles and all this kind of shit, and it was fun and games to him. So I'm glad
Yes.
that I hope he's suffering. I hope karma really gets on his ass. Um,
No, I
I,
wish the best. I wish the best for Mr. Zimmerman. And if the best is homelessness that he can get right now, Kevin's doing all right, considering he
I
tried to
wish the
auction
worst.
off the gun he killed him with. Woo!
Yeah, I wish nothing but the worst for him. I
Fuck
just,
that dude. I'm sorry.
yeah,
Fuck him. It may, and it's funny because you talk about the stand your ground law, and if you listen to it, the police and I argued with one of these racist white people about this shit, where it's like, well, he didn't have to, he was attacking him and he hit him. I said he followed him for fucking 11 minutes, and the police told the man to stand down. They specifically said it. They said it 3 times on the call, if you recall. Don't do that, sir. Don't do. They said it multiple times, and he still did it. The poor kid he's walking around. He's probably terrified because he don't know where he is. He's a teenager, and then this racist son of a bitch fucking kills him. Dude, don't get me started. And I was gonna say, just to add, I cannot find anything where TJ, I think his name is hold on one second, the gentleman from Michigan, or where were they at? Michigan, TJ Sabula loses his job. I can't find it. I'm looking for it now while we were talking.
okay. I seen
He's
mention
suspended
of
without pay though.
it. Okay.
Yeah, he's suspended without pay. So whatever.
Hey, when you step out there, be ready for it. It's gonna come back to bite you. Um, Mama Jenkins says I used to follow the police shootings after my son's death, and even help families bury loved ones. My husband told me I had to stop because I got so sick 12 years. It was 12 years ago in West Dallas, she's saying, when Corey Stingley was murdered, and his dad, she said, for Craig fighting his son case, praying for justice. Yes, his dad's name is Craig. So he seemed like a real intelligent brother when I spoke to him those years back, and he talked about his son and how it was just such a miscarriage of justice. But they have been charged, so that's great. I'm happy for them.
That is great. And they act like, and I've gotten to it. A lot of these, a lot of you've seen them, Kevin, and everybody watching and listening has seen these people where they act like their people don't do anything to people of color. Like they don't harass people of color. They don't call people of color slurs. I was walking when my mom had first moved to 60th and Forest Home. Then I moved back to the north side because I couldn't deal with it at first. She moved over there. I said, I got to be around black people again. Walking down the street, first thing I heard was, fuck you, nigger. First thing, like before anything else. This is right after Tupac got killed. I'm like, damn, what did I do to you people? After that, I never stopped walking with a firearm. Always had a gun in my trunk, gun on my side, one in the glove box. All legal, but you just know what time it is. You know what I'm saying? And I don't worry. I don't worry about white people. I don't. Even in Arizona, like some people, they worry. Like I had a situation last week where I was on a contracting job. Kev, you're gonna be entertained by this one. You have to sign into this building where I was. I have a client. He very, very, very affluent guy, 93 years old, just very paid. So he lives in this place where it's like $15,000 a month to live. So I'm going there. I'm doing some work for him. I walk in there. The lady runs from behind the counter and says, "You didn't sign in. You didn't sign in." It's a whole waiting room full of people. So me, how I am, I just ignored her. I just didn't say anything. And I walked out and I went back to her desk and said, "It's such and such here." She's like, "Excuse me, but you have to sign in." I said, "If he's not in this building, I'm not going to sign in. That's against your protocol. My company, we don't operate like that." So she actually called the company I was contracting for the next week after I had signed in the other building and said, "Oh, this guy never signed in." Fast forward, I sent the director of their director of personnel engagement, showed this woman that I was signed in, all this stuff, and I have to admit they terminated her. She told me today that they let her go because that's not the first time. So my point in bringing that up is they look for a reason to mess with us. If you're a successful person of color, that is an indictment on them for not doing enough. Some of them hate to see it. And it's amazing to me that some white people hate to see black people doing well. So I just wanted to add that because you kind of brought the race thing, and I was like, I just went through that last week, which is odd. Rest in peace to the woman's job, though. Somebody's a job opening at that place, so that's pretty good.
Right. Well, that's what happens, right?
Yes.
Got a caller on the line. I believe this is my brother Ruben. Ruben, what's going on?
Man, you always get me mixed up with somebody else.
I do.
You know how many people in Arizona?
It's Ace. I know.
Ace,
what's happening, Ace? My fault, man. I do it. All y'all look alike to me. I'm sorry.
I
hope you okay, Ace, after the Packer game, because I know you was pissed.
Oh man, you know I'm snapping. I think I left you a message, man.
You did send me a message. I thought that was funny as hell. You were like, brother, you probably don't even know who this is. I'm like, Negro, I know who the hell this is. And you was like, I'm just venting.
It's all good.
Next year, brother. Next year, it's all good.
It's all good. I mean, I heard y'all talking about this little subject right now, man. It's being successful and being in white areas.
Yeah,
you know, and that's the crazy thing, man. Is I found myself feeling much more violent out in these areas because I think I'm just tiresome. But don't get me wrong, I'm self-controlled and I do ignore a lot. But you know, it's only so much a brother could take. You know what I'm saying? But you know, the being pulled over, the funny stares, or you know, somebody coming asking you some dumb shit, trying to insult your intelligence. You know, and then I got to be really harsh back, and then it's like, oh my God, they want to play victim. You know what I'm saying? So that's just one aspect. Now looking at this whole this Trayvon Martin thing, Kev, you know how I feel already, man. I don't think I can stomach something like that. It's either me or that dude. You know, so sometimes it's just things we need to do. Either our community has to do because you know they just think we soft. I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. I think a lot of the other communities think we soft. That's why they do the shit that they do to us. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes it's just we need to stand on business.
To an extent.
You know, I mean, there's things and I'm always going to preach emotional maturity. You know, about you know, reacting to something because I know I'm wrong sometimes. You know, and I have to sit back and I think about it. But you know, like you said, I just heard you say it. You want to be respected. And that's all, man. You know what I'm saying? And if we don't get that, we have to take that. You know what I'm saying? Or else they're going to keep doing whatever they want to do to us, bro. That's just what it is.
Well, yeah, I agree. I think as a man, you have to demand respect. And that's why I say if there's an organization or an agency or any kind of business in the community that doesn't respect us, we should not spend with them. Or if they have a reputation for mistreating us, because if you do it to one of us, to me, you do it to all of us.
Oh,
so I told that's part of solidarity for myself. But yeah, I agree with you. I think you know there are a lot of people who feel like it's okay to disrespect us, and they feel like, well, they ain't gonna do shit because we don't really have. Because listen, if I really wild out on a white person, right? Like I'm going to face certain circumstances. I'm gonna face some consequences. And a lot of Karens, that's how they get you because they come
Yeah.
at you so
Yeah,
aggressively, and as
yeah,
soon as you respond and cuss them out, the tears start flowing, and all of a sudden I was so scared. And law enforcement usually is going to take their side and say, "Well, she's really scared," and all this kind of stuff. So that's
Yeah.
why I always advise people: be careful how you move,
right,
right? Like
right.
it's like
Well, I mean,
if you get pulled over by law enforcement, I just got pulled over by law enforcement last week. And I'm cool because I'm not a criminal. I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm not.
Not at all. Yeah.
So there was no need for me to wild out on them. But at the same time,
right,
they didn't really push the line because I've seen them talk to you kind of crazy, and they do it with the hopes that you give them a justification for doing whatever it is that they do to you as a black man. So I feel
yeah,
like a lot of times we have to put a premium on giving respect and carrying ourselves with respect if we want it,
that's true.
you know.
That's true.
So because if
I
you
mean,
if you come
that's
in
the stuff. I mean,
projecting, if
I'm
you
sorry.
come
Go
in
ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
if you come into a place projecting ignorance, or you come into a place with a disrespectful mentality, that's what you're going to get back. And see, that was like we had the
Absolutely.
conversation the other night about customer service, and we were saying, yeah, you go to a lot of black businesses and the customer service is poor, and the people in there, the employees were disrespectful. Well, a lot of times consumers come into a situation and treat people who work in these places disrespectfully. Like you're subservient. You're like, yeah, you ain't nothing but a cashier. Just bring my shit up and shut your ass up. Like, and people gonna say,
Yeah,
no, I
Exactly.
don't care what I'm doing for a living, you gonna respect me. So I think a lot of people think demanding respect is only about walking with a big stick, but a lot of times it's showing other people that you respect them. Like any man
yeah,
who I encounter, I'm gonna
Yes.
show him the respect of a man, and I expect it in return. You know what
Yes.
I'm
And
saying?
to kind of chime into what you said real quick, and then Ace, I just want to say this really fast. It's funny you said that because anytime my lawyer has always told me that because I've had the same lawyer for like 25 years, and he's always told me this since I was younger. He was like, Ian, whenever you're dealing with law enforcement, no matter what, always just start off with yes, sir, no, ma'am, or whatever. Dog, and I can tell you, I've never really had too many issues with the police, and I've been wrong sometimes. I had two of my cars once where I was driving. You know how you transport them from point A to point B if you have multiple properties or whatever. I was just moving,
yeah,
and I went through Waukesha, and this cop literally was on the other side of the road. And as far as in Waukesha, they had gotten the whole court case. So yeah, he was probably racist. And he didn't mess with me. But even when he was trying to, like Kev said, talk crazy, do this, or whatever, I just was like, you know what, sir? I said, you were on the other side of the road and you couldn't see. I was just wondering why you turned your vehicle to come behind me. I was like, I'm just, a little bit curious about it. I just want to let you know I'm here. I'm going to work. I'm transporting my vehicle to another property, that kind of thing. And another point I wanted to bring up really quick was what you just said is what Renee Good did not do. Because I think, and people got mad when I said this. I said she's a white woman. She just figured, oh, I'm gonna do what I want. Let me drive out of there. And she didn't realize that they're not playing. And I'm not saying she should have got shot. It's the opposite. She should not have gotten shot. But it's the point is, me, you, Ewok, Ace, whoever, would y'all when you see them police officers there, are you gonna try to drive away, Kev? No, no,
No, I'm
no.
Well, in that situation, because I mean, truthfully, I seen what happened. I think we all did. It wasn't.
It
He
was some
wasn't trying to
bullshit.
do. I mean, the way they operate is they're going to try to frame it to look as if it's something that didn't happen because they want to justify their bullshit.
Yeah, they
The
do.
police I know how
Yeah,
to do it.
they put a spin on their narrative.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie. I should have had like 4 felonies right now because of dealing with police. So I can deal with them. It's just the people that when I'm talking, it's the people that aren't behind law enforcement that can get law enforcement involved. When I'm doing, and as far as I'm concerned, the white woman is the most dangerous out of all of them because of what they can do. You know what I'm saying? And so I look at that situation
And those people, I pretty much ignored. Number one, I know they can't fuck me in the first place. But the one thing I do love to do is I throw in that camera in front of them. I get your ass fired, because you mess with their money, they just panic because that's all they are. They're their money. You know what I'm saying? But we have to find some sort of way to kind of, what's the word I'm looking for, man? To get that respect. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
now when it comes to each other, I'm sorry, I know I'm a little long. When it comes to each other, now I see how we are very open to respect these other people. I wish we could do it to each other, Ken. I wish we could.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is, the minute we talk sensible to each other, somebody gonna take that as softness. And the thing is, we trying to figure a way to get that across. Just because I'm trying to be cordial to you and have proper decorum with you doesn't mean I'm going to accept bullshit. You get what I'm saying? So that's where we come up, and I look at our community. It's like, dude, I don't know if it's self-hate or whatnot, because I see us so quick to jump at each other, and they won't jump at these people. You see what I'm saying? Well, that don't matter to me.
Well, we're not scared. We don't fear each other like we fear them. So yeah, that's one thing. So, but I think anytime you are a humble person who operates with you're not really outwardly hostile, somebody's gonna test you, right? Like that's just the way of things. Like, being peaceful doesn't mean being a punk. But I think a lot of times in our community, we look at that as a sign of weakness. That if you just straight lace, it's like the square dude versus the street dude. You believe all the dudes that come from rough neighborhoods that are involved in the life are hard, when there's some that are very scary and very soft. Those are the dudes who go to prison and become cross dressers. So it's not really it's what Rakim says. It's not where you from, it's where you at mentally. And you never know where somebody's sitting upstairs, because if somebody's going through something and they've been taking a lot of shit from people all day long, and they're just having sometimes you get to the breaking point where you say enough is enough. Next motherfucker across me is catching it. And you don't want to be the person to push that button. Like, I've always said this, the quiet dudes are the dangerous dudes. The dude that's in the back not really saying nothing, that's the one who will come out the bag on you, because he's absorbing. He's absorbing, and then he's going to change. That's going to be his motivation. And then every person who's ever crossed him, that's how he's going to swing off on you. You know what I'm saying? So
go get your ass. I tell people that daily though, on the real. Like, you never know what somebody going through. And the motherfucker, and see, the thing is, it ain't always a motherfucker got to be going through nothing like that. Because you can have everything at your whim. You can have wife, car, job, whatever. But a motherfucker just keep wronging you. And every night you like, I don't want to exist. But this person still existing. And you write a note to your wife, kids, let them know you love them, get all your contacts in order, and then you go kill that person. And you go do the time or whatever comes out of it. But you sat back and thought about it, and you accepted the consequences of this. You feel what I'm saying? So sometimes you got to just leave people alone, because you just never know. Because some people accept that long as you dead, I can live with. You might get 15 a dub out of it. You know what I'm saying? You gone forever, my guy. You never gonna. I can still breathe and hold my family and get visits. But you fuck with me too much, and I had to do you in.
I've been in a situation.
It's crazy too that you say that, because a lot of that is circumstantial too. Because I mean, it's like a lot of times people won't say shit if they by themselves. I can ignore some shit from niggas too. Don't get me wrong. But like, say you try to, I'm with my people. I'm in front of my daughter. I'm in front of my, the woman I live with. I mean, now you put me in a position where I got to, hey, a lot of men gonna take that. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
and at the end of the day, it's like, why push that?
I've been in a situation. I've been in a situation where somebody had to fuck around and find out before. So I've been, I've literally, one of the worst, one of the most violent like confrontations I ever had came because there was three brothers on a city bus, and they was talking shit to me, and I wasn't saying anything back to them. And I think in their minds they thought like, "Yo, we got us a victim." Well, the end result wasn't pretty for them, and it was like I said, one of the most vicious beatings I've ever gave anyone. Because in my opinion, in my mind, what I was thinking was, look, I'm not saying nothing to y'all. Just stall me out. Let me go and get up off this bus. But when I got up to leave, to get off the bus, it continued. So in my mind, what I thought was, so you still gonna continue to fuck with me even though I haven't said anything to you? And like I said, man, I came from the deep south with some flavor for him, especially in particular the one who started it. Out of all the fights I've had, I don't ever recall beating nobody as viciously as I beat this individual, because in my mind, I couldn't believe you insisted upon just pushing me. And this ain't really what I wanted for you, but I'm gonna give it to you because you paid for it, you bought it. So, and
I don't want to do this, but if you go,
and I've seen some people get pushed where this individual was in the hood where every day somebody's messing with him. And I tell, we say, man, you better leave dude alone, man. Dude gonna whoop your ass one day, and that person, oh man, whatever, and catch that person on the wrong day, and his foo-fops delivered. Like, yo, like, man, he just beat the brakes off of you. So yeah, man, you gotta be careful how you treat people, man. You don't never know when you catch somebody on the wrong day, they going through something. Or like Dion said, maybe they've been sitting up saying, you know what? I'm sick of this shit. The next person that crossed me, I'm ready to go to the penitentiary. They ain't gonna walk away. And so you just got to be careful, man. It's about how you carry yourself, man. Mama Jenkins in the chat room says the damn DA office in this city is corrupted and will not change. Will not charge a white man for killing a black person. Some cases have been sitting in that office unsolved for years. That old Michael McCann, I pray that he choke on his own vomit, because he denied a lot of families justice, waiting for him to get his. Now, so the district attorney who didn't charge the killer of Corey Stingley was Chisholm.
It was E. Michael McCann.
I thought it was Chisholm.
No, but
it was
John Chisholm. But I thought Michael McCann was when he did like the head person over it.
I don't know. I just know Chisholm chose not to.
John Chisholm. Yeah,
I know.
And that's crazy though, because you would think that this guy was living until they grabbed him, and then they caused his death. I'm surprised they didn't try to do it like George Floyd, put a spin on it, like he had this in the system that. No, we seen that man kneeling on that man's neck.
Well, the spin was that like, this young black kid was he was on video putting alcoholic beverages into his bag. So that was their justification.
Yeah, he tried to put it back too.
And I don't understand why you think a bottle.
I seen that one too.
The most expensive alcohol ain't worth a life. Right, like so, it's Mama Jenkins. You are correct. We have to
also understand.
Mama Jenkins is correct in when she says that in terms of them charging, for Black Death, they're quick to charge one of us if we kill another brother. But when it comes to like police with this immunity and stuff like that, you're gonna get. It's hard for you to get them to move and charge white people for killing black people.
But see, we gotta understand that, I don't see. That's why, I be, here you go. I be so stuck on slavery and stuff like that, and people be trying to move past that. But the thing is, you have to understand that these people really don't look at us as humans. That's why, because you can have a black person, white person do the same identical thing, and I ain't talking about as far as criminal justice. What I was talking about, look, we have seen many times where a white guy jump out on the police with an assault rifle. What the fuck are you doing, police? They backing up. But one of us could look like we had a gun, and that's a cell phone. You feel what I'm saying? They look at the white guy as John, the next, the John. They gonna have a beer with him, or that could be their uncle. Anytime one of them go overboard and do some shit, he was having a bad day. He was mentally ill. Us, they gonna go to your daddy background. His daddy was a pimp and he was part of the 7-4 mob and this. You know what I'm saying? They do not look at us as human beings. They was indoctrinated with that shit. This is an ongoing thing with us and white people, man. It's gonna constantly be a battle. We are looked at as non-human. They figure like we got some human strength. Like remember about 6-7 years ago, the one black guy, not Dante, the one that got killed down there at Red Arrow Park, but it was another black guy, and he beat the shit out about 3 or 4 police. They was tasing him, and I'm talking about, and you know, you seen in the comment, you know, he had superhuman streak. Don't let us be on some drugs like for Rodney King. Oh, he was on PCP. He had superhuman strength, this, that, and the other. Right now, to this day, these motherfuckers still talk about Willie Horton. Remember when back in the days when, what was that, Mike Dukakis, and back in the days, prison, you could get furloughs to come home for the weekend. Willie Horton got out when he killed his wife and shit. To this day, I'm talking about, and that was what, when Mike Dukakis and George Bush, that was the nail in the coffin for him. You know what I'm saying? See, I know history and I know my politics. That's what I'm saying. Like, once you become aware and start learning about shit, it's hard for you to unlearn this shit. And that's what I'm saying. It's hard for me to not be angry when I see comments on these motherfuckers. And just like Ian said, these motherfuckers just act like they so innocent. I'm from the land of the free. This is stolen land, motherfuckers. Don't y'all know history? This is not your land. This land is stolen. But I'm from the land. If you don't like America, get out. You get out too, bitch. Come on, we both leaving together. With one boat going to Europe, and Europe ain't a continent, motherfuckers. It's part of Asia. And I'm tired of hearing people say that, because if you look at Europe, they want to be so separated and identified like they're, oh God, we're holier than thou. And they still the angry. Look at ICE and other shit that we see. January 6th, these are still the people that hung us, chased us down, tongued us, shot up our house, made our families run out here, cut women open and stuff the baby. Like, what type of human being is you that you could cut a woman open, stuff the baby, and your funky ass, ugly, snaggletooth ass wife can have kids too? That's why I don't. That's why it's so hard for me. And like you said, Kev, I do have to watch myself, because I go to 10. I go from 0 to 10 on a white motherfucker quick. And I know they have arms and this, that, and the other. So I do have to be conscious of my behavior and how I react to them. Because like yesterday when I was up at Family Dollar, like, I don't even like you motherfuckers. Like, that's another reason why I don't really come out too much and go places, because I know how I am. You know what I'm saying? As far as with them, I have zero tolerance. Like, you could be standing in the line, Whole Foods, for example, up there on Mayfair Road. You go to take your shit back from Amazon. Like, give me some space. Give me some motherfucking space. You could be standing there going to Woodman's, and you standing there and you walking down the aisle. They'll come lean. So if you don't see me, motherfucker. Like, one day I'm up at BW3's over here on Highway 100. I'm sitting down, another black man in line. Instead of the white man just telling him to excuse me to get back, he trying to squeeze by and almost, man, I snap. Motherfucker, you don't even see this man as a human being, that your bitch ass can't even just say, excuse me, you about to step on my feet. It be incidents like that, man, that drive a motherfucker over the edge, and you be so motherfucker, what?
So I can hear the anger.
No, but it be that though.
But what I'm saying,
it be that.
But what I'm saying to black people is,
motherfuckers see me with my dog, instead of saying hi to me, they come rubbing my dog. Don't touch my motherfucking dog without saying hi to me first. That's my dog. Don't touch it.
Right, but it's not about
that shit pisses me.
It's not about not being angry. It's about what you do with the anger. I think if we if we took that anger and we channeled it, and this is one thing I learned about growing up in the hood.
They won't have no positive shit. We took it and channeled it and this, that. No, I'm angry. Fuck channeling it. I want to channel it on your motherfucking face with these knuckles.
Well, I'll tell you what. You can sit on that anger and you can let it like live. You can have it in your body, and it's going to manifest itself in different ways, and you're going to have health issues because you're right. I agree. It's just more stress on your internals. I think you have to find something.
I'm living that right now.
And you have to channel
right now.
You have to channel it in a positive way. One of the main things that I'm very grateful for is that I was able, and this is why I say I love football so much. All of the anger and like aggression that I would have as a youth, I knew when I got between the lines, I could let it loose and I wasn't going to get in trouble. Right. So I was able to channel that. And then whatever was left when it came to working out or preparing myself to play, I utilized that for that. I utilized it for motivation to say, okay, let me get up and go to class. Let me get up and handle my business so I can still play. I just think we have to find, that's why black kids a lot of times need outlets. They need positive outlets. And it ain't all about sports. Like it could be something that you're passionate about. You learn how to kind of channel that energy. I think that's very important because you're going to encounter situations that Dion is referring to when you say, yo, like, are you serious right now? And now if you was to just haul off and just go to cracking people in their shit, yeah, it's hell to take to the captain for that. And you're gonna, unless you're ready to sit, I don't really have time to give to them. I don't want to donate any of my time to sit in their facilities. So I'm gonna have to channel it into other things. And so I think people need to invest in that. Somebody's got their device up because I can hear myself echoing. Mama Jenkins is talking about Frank Jude. You know what's funny is Frank Jude inboxes me almost every morning and says, have a good day, Brother Kevin. At night, have a good evening, Brother Kevin. And I spoke to Frank Jude a long time ago, and I said, yo,
why does that sound familiar? Who is that? Who is that?
Frank Jude was the brother who was beaten by the police officers because he had went to a party they were having.
Yep.
He said he stole their badge or whatever, and they beat him. And Mike McGee Jr. kind of exposed it.
He got pins stuck in his ear and everything. They popped his eardrum and everything. My mom's law firm, I think, handled that case.
Yeah, it was some real kind of
sick stuff.
Sauciness.
Hey, man, whatever happened to
pull his pants down and all that kind of stuff. Joseph
Mensa, serial killer, boy. You
are you talking about Mensa sticking the fingers in people's butts? Yeah.
No, Mensa is the murderer. He's the shooter.
Yeah. The black dude. Oh, yeah, him. Yeah.
He's African. He stepped down. He stepped down. He had moved to Kenosha, Waukesha, something like that. He did
the same thing there.
Well, he stepped down from his position because he had to still go through federal court for murdering my brother up here in the park in Wauwatosa.
Didn't he do that by Mayfair Mall, if I'm not mistaken?
Well, I think he killed upwards in 3 people because he shot a young black male at
the park
mall. He shot the brother in the car up here in the park, and he had shot, I believe, a Latino individual who had like a sword or something at one point.
Yes.
So done 3 murders behind the back.
How does he sleep at night? Jesus Christ.
Well, you got to take that with him.
But that's the coach of policing too, man. That's what we need to get straightened out. Because, I mean, you can't be telling people how to do things and follow laws when you worse than the motherfuckers on the street.
You ain't lying, Ace.
Earl Henny said, kill the white people.
Oh, Jesus.
Kill the white people.
Well, at least he ain't saying other stuff.
Listen, you are entitled to how you feel, but if you
you
engage in that, like I say, be prepared to donate your time. Right? So when you do that, then you see you behind bars and say, they got me in here for nothing. No, they have you in there for murdering people. Right?
Murdering white Americans.
Right. Well, go Nat Turner if you want. Mama Jenkins said he calls me every day. The cop that killed my son is one of the cops. Okay. You're right, Mama Jenkins. It was Jay Anderson Jr. I was with the Black Panthers of Milwaukee, the original Black Panthers of Milwaukee at that time, and we were involved in a lot of protesting for Jay Anderson. I, in particular, one at the park up here, and I seen that was the first time I met William Poster. I believe that was his name. I haven't seen him around in a while. He's a white dude who's about 6'7", about 260 pounds, and he would be armed to the teeth. I'm talking about he might walk up with an AR-15 in his hand with a shotgun on his back and several large semi-automatic handguns on him, knives. And so I'm standing there by the general, Daryl Farmer, and I look up and I'm basically assigned to watch his back. So nobody's supposed to be able to contact him from where I'm standing. And I look up and I see this huge white dude coming through the crowd with all these guns. And I go, oh, shit. this is the moment of decision making, right? How bad do you really want to be a Panther? And I just so happened to tap him and say, General, check this shit out. And he looks and he go, what's up, man? And dude's like, hey, how you doing? And he would be at every black protest back in those days. I think at one point he was arrested too because he had all these guns on him. But that was a Jay Anderson protest, and I just remember seeing him coming through the crowd like, holy shit. And I don't even think I had any. I didn't have no weapon, but when he had in his hand like a AR-15, and I'm like, yo, like, look, General, check this out. And he knew him, so yeah, Jay Anderson Jr. was the name that Joseph Mensah murdered in his car. Talking about he fell asleep in his car or whatever. I guess he had a gun on him. Mensah seen it and killed him in the car. The Republican Party in Wisconsin hilariously made a faux pas over the weekend because they wanted to go at Mandela Barnes.
Oh God.
And they I guess there's a hit piece that they wanted to put out on him. And instead of his photo, they used DC. They used DC Crowley.
Oh, really?
I guess to them, we all look alike, right? So
no, that did not happen.
Yes. The Republican Party, we don't need to say anything. We can just let y'all roll, and y'all are going to humiliate yourselves. And I don't get why people are so upset with the brother Mandela Barnes. I think he needs to communicate with the people more. I've spoken with him. Like I said, way back in the days when I was, shout out to Keith Terry, and we were doing 3041 live on Saturdays. I brought Mandela on because 860 wouldn't give him a chance. None of the black, quote unquote, black media outlets here, because he was running against Sister Lena Taylor. And I found him to be a cool brother, man. I wasn't happy with the way he ran when he ran for Congress. I thought he should have kind of came to the people more, and I think that hurt him in the long run when he lost to Ron Johnson.
Yeah, because he almost beat Ron. He could have beat Ron if he would have did a little more. You're right.
But hindsight is 2020. If he's somebody who can mean us well, I don't see why we are just, oh, you don't need to be running, you messing up the vote and all this. Like, yo, just let that man deserves the right to do what he does, man.
And I wanted to add really quick because I got two calls actually. One was from my daughter, which was unrelated, but I got a buddy in media that said, hey, check out the news. He said, Google, I see you guys on. He said, by the way, good show. And he said, Minnesota ICE officer shoots an immigrant in Minnesota, and this just happened again. Like, I don't know how to even articulate this. Just cornball, man.
Did you know Trump said he gonna not send money to sanctuary cities, and he about to revoke some with the Somalis. But fuck them Somalis though, because they was up in there praising Trump. Anybody that praise Trump, and he took the Mexicans and Latinos, Mexican, Latino, I don't give a fuck, Spanish speaking American, you ran with Trump at. But see, the thing is, this is what a lot of people don't fail to realize. See, people are not in tune to politics like we are at this round table. So when you got a lot of Latinos and them immigrants and stuff like that, a lot of them are Christians. They looked at Trump as aligning with their Christian values. Fuck did he say he was going to deport you?
Which is odd, by the way, Dion.
Fuck all that. They said that he aligns with our Christian value. Okay,
that is so
you get your Christian ass right on up out of here.
Yep.
You get your Christian ass right on up out of here. So goodbye.
Designers too. So what the hell?
Goodbye.
Well, I think when it comes to Minnesota and Minneapolis in general, I think that these people are being scapegoated because this is an opportunity for Trump and MAGA to say, see, this is the danger of illegal immigrants. This is what they do. They commit mass fraud. They cost us economically. He's putting a freeze on. Oh, well, I'm not giving out no more SNAP benefits.
And they really are, Kevin. They really are using them as a scapegoat. I mean, I'm not trying to be funny. I'm not siding with the Somalis or whatever. I'm just being real. It's only an X amount of them there. They're all not fraudsters. Because, see, I remember, this is what my mom taught me, and my father, who God rest his soul, who was a Black Panther, he said the media will say anything to get you to hate people that look like you. They will. They'll say anything. They'll be, oh, those Somalis, and they'll generalize them. They'll say, look at what they do. They come here. They drag your property values down. They're fraudsters. When Nick Shirley did those videos on the Somali daycare, it came out later that, damn, half of that, like the Biden administration arrested a lot of those people, and it was only a small group, and it was headed by a white woman that they're not even talking about. I can't.
Well,
Wow, these Republicans, man, they've done an
100
excellent job. Oof.
Let me chime in real quick because they
sure,
doing it. I mean, the biggest is Minnesota, but they're doing it in Ohio. They're doing it in Maine. I think they're doing it in Michigan too. And what they're doing is all that money is going back to. It's not even going back to their country because they've also been over in Kenya buying a property. You know, from my understanding, and that's just from the federal government following the money. You know what I'm saying? And you talk to them, I'm going to be honest with you, bro. I mean, we got some that are cool, but collectively, bro, they don't mean us no good.
A lot of them don't like us. You're right.
You don't like your work. You don't do this. They speak with a bunch of white premise talking points. Once again, they want to be Arab. You know what I'm saying? You know how Arabs feel about black people, though, right?
I got an inclination of it.
You know?
Listen.
Yeah, but they do.
At the end of the day,
they don't fuck with it.
At the end of the day, it's xenophobia, and they probably don't rock with us. Which, you know, a lot of us don't rock with us. So I can't just say, well, they deserve to be treated like shit. I think it is just another. I call it new age niggerism. And what this means is that
I'm kind of like Dion, fuck them. You know, they put themselves in that situation.
Well, I'm not going to emulate somebody who wronged me. Like if somebody does me wrong, I'm not going to start acting like them to get by. Because if they done me wrong, it's wrong. So I'm not going to say, well, I want somebody else to suffer because I suffered. I don't really have any kind of.
You made your bed.
I don't really care about anybody who doesn't have love for foundational Black Americans. That's not something I do. But
yes,
I am going to say they don't need to be treated like shit because we've been treated like shit. Now, some people feel like because Black people had to go through it, everybody deserves it. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is we understand what you're going through. That's why you don't see us make a big deal out of it. That's why you see us we're not running to your aid. Number one, because we know that there's really it's not like you trying to rock with us. But number two, we've been through it and nobody came to our aid. So it's kind of like one of those things where you say, shit, you know, suck it up, toots. It's like, you know, you'll be okay. In 300-400 years, you'll be okay. We made it.
Yep. Go organize.
It's tough love. You know what I'm saying?
I can't rap with them because I'm sorry, go ahead. I don't mean to cut you off.
No, I mean, it's the same thing with Latinos. I have absolutely zero. I have nothing against Latinos. But just knowing that there are a lot of Latinos who don't like us, and there were a lot of Latinos who voted for Trump and maintained Latinos for Trump, I don't feel sorry for them when I see some of the things that are happening to them. I'm not like, oh, those poor people. I look at them and say, that's what you get. Now, that might be callous. That might be wrong on my part.
No, it's not.
We forget that.
They did,
but we tried to tell them, we can't allow the way we've been treated to make us into a hateful group of people. Black people are not hateful, even though that's the narrative. We're not hateful. As a matter of fact, we're some of the most emotional, loving, forgiving people that you can encounter. But due to the fact that there's been a lot of shit done to us, a lot of us maintain a hostile perspective. Like, yo, nobody ever gave a fuck about me, so I don't give a fuck about nobody else. I don't want this country to transform me into that. I'm not going to allow racist white people to rob me of my humanity.
Exactly.
I'm going to maintain a person who has integrity and a person who cares for his fellow human. I'm not going to they don't have that much power. I'm not giving them that much power over me.
And you know why that's not true, I can say one line that just illuminates everything you say. We have a phrase. It's called, man, we invite them to the cookout. We the only race that do that because we've been berated. If you look at it from the 80s, first, even on television, You can't see a positive show with black role models on right now, unless you know something that you know on Netflix, or you know you might have some independent people do it. But as a whole, you got shows about drug dealers. Kevin, you talk about it all the damn time about the music specifically. When record labels, what do they produce or what do they promote and market? They market the stuff that's nonsensical to our culture. You know, they do that kind of stuff. So you're absolutely right. They just attack us and act like we the problem for everything. No, I agree, man. Yeah, foundational Black Americans, we've created damn near everything of significance in regard to entertainment, down to the fountain pen. But you know what? We're the problem, and Charlie Kirk was right. And you know, you can go to white universities and spew false statistics about Black Americans, and it's okay and accept it by 70 million plus Americans that voted for this clown. And don't let them tell you they didn't know what Project 2025 was. They're lying. They read it thoroughly. They know what it is.
Dion, I heard you say you can't love someone who don't love you, but you should love yourself.
Hell no.
Well, it ain't really about me loving them. It's about me loving me.
Yes.
And within me loving me means I have to make sure that I am the measuring stick for myself. So I want part of how I want myself to be is to having integrity and compassion, right? So it's about how much I love myself, that I won't allow somebody to change me into something that I don't want to be. And I'm with you on that. I'm not really, kissing no ass for somebody who don't care about me. I understand that. At the same time, you only get from me what you give me. So if you disrespect me, I give it back to you. If you hate me, guess what? And I have a phrase my wife always thinks is very funny. I always tell somebody, if you think you don't like me, I guarantee you I don't like you more. If I find out that you don't like me, I say, you know what? I hate you more than you hate me.
I've heard you say that before, actually.
Right? Like, I'm really like somebody I don't like, dude. I don't like you either. Right? Like, so it's like,
so funny,
and I guarantee you I dislike you more than you dislike me. Right?
Every fucking time you say that, I fucking get entertained.
No.
That's so
my wife
funny.
Laughs at it every time I say it. She'll say,
funny as hell.
I say, that so and so don't like me. And she'll say, let me guess, you dislike him more. I'm like, you know how I go, because I'm not into showing love to people that just disregard me. But at the same time, I'm not going to allow the other side to give me a black heart. I'm not going to give them power. I say this too. Sometimes we give them more power than they take from us. I think Black people are entirely guilty of that. We've given up so much power because we will allow them to fuck our day up. Like, we'll get in our feelings and we'll get so emotional that we'll just totally disrupt anything we got going. So you can say, yeah, but I wasn't taking that shit. I let them white people know. Well, you went to jail. Now you got arrested. You lost your license. You got hit upside the head with a stick, something like that. Was it worth it? It's more than one way to win a fight, right? And I think a lot of times perseverance is the best way to win a fight. Like, I'm not, if a cop is out of pocket with me, I'm not going to win by trying to go toe to toe with him.
Hell no.
My thing is, I'm going to maintain my integrity, and whatever's done that violated me, I'm going to document it, and I'm going to go through the proper channels. Now, we all know that probably sometimes that justice don't come back like it's supposed to. No. You know what I'm saying? So, but don't let that be a reason to not keep your cool. My rest in peace to my cousin Cooley. He used to always say, man, you got to keep a cool booty. So, I used to always laugh when he would say that. Now, but I know what he meant now. Like, you got to keep your head on straight, man, because they're looking for a reason to take us down.
Kev, when did it get to the point where people so focused on being right opposed to how things actually are? And again, I think that's partly what that woman Good went through.
I've always asked that.
Yeah, it's wild. Like, you'd be like, well, they shouldn't be able to do this. How stupid do you sound? This man has a gun. You don't have one. Don't give him a reason to shoot you. Meaning, when they're standing by your car in front or whatever, I don't understand. Well, I do completely understand, because I understand psychology. That woman, because her whole life she was a white woman, she's been entitled. I'm not justifying it. I'm not. But if I'm thinking there's a strong possibility if she wouldn't have drove, it would have decreased the likelihood of her being killed. That's all I'm saying. And people was mad at me online for saying it. It's true. I'm not saying I agree with the ICE agent. I think Jason Ross is a piece of shit. But what I'm saying is we give them a reason, they're going to freaking exercise that option. That's why he shot her. And that's why you got these stupid people that don't realize somebody lost their life and they think it's cool to be like, oh, play stupid games, get stupid prizes. Like, come on, man. That's just dumb as fuck.
I'm going to be honest with you again. Like I said, she's not understanding how severe the circumstances are.
Yeah.
A lot of them aren't used to being under duress like we see what's coming. You know, she don't understand.
We know better.
She's out there, fuck you and all this shit. And these, on top of that, these ICE agents, they're not
cops.
Average officers. You get these people they recruited. These is border agents. They recruited to guard the border, so they don't have the same training. You get what I'm saying?
That's why you can't militarize the police, because they start acting like they're, I don't know, on the field of battle.
I think that's why I say foundational Black Americans, when this happened, we looked at the situation and say, oh,
do better.
She didn't do what they told her. Oh, okay. Like, for us,
shot.
it was right. For us, it's that, because that's
what happened to my cousin.
So, you know, so
you know what's crazy, Kev? They had the Black Panthers out there for, you know, they ready to roll for it. And, you know, a lot of the FBA getting pissed off about it. Like, yo, dude, this ain't our fight. Stay the fuck out of that. You know what I'm saying? Because number one,
well, I think there's certain groups of people say injustice against anybody is injustice against everybody.
I respect that too, though.
So, but I would tell any Panthers that were there, like, look, you know, it's one of them things where I don't think this is our fight. Like, let them fight. See, we've always taken up everybody else's back. Like,
yes, we have.
And normally we suffer more. We suffer more than anybody as a result of it. But then when it comes time for us, nobody speaks up on our behalf or advocates for us. And that's why I say, Black people, let's be smooth, fall back. We're not going to put ourselves in harm's way, sticking our neck out, only for it to be no support and no justice for us anyways.
And on the flip side, though, Kev, I think you were alluding to it, but I think you went into the overall bigger point. But I honestly, if the Black Panthers want to be involved, that's fine. Actually, I respect that. Me personally, I'm not going to. You know what I'm saying? I'm not. It's not knocking her. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, no. I've known so many niggas to get their ass whooped by the police over the course of my life and get killed, to where it's kind of like, to me, you know, I'm used to that kind of shit, but their community is not used to that at all. That's why they're so shocked. Dude, when she got shot, I wasn't shocked at all. You know, some people like, oh my God. I was like, oh damn, she ain't stopped.
Well, here's the thing too, Ian.
Huh?
Here's the thing too.
Yeah.
White people, y'all voted Trump in. So y'all should be the ones to stand up to him and get hit with them sticks and whatever ever happened. Listen,
my niggas say here with the sticks.
You know what I'm saying? But knocked upside like us. I totally blame white people for Trump. I really do, because I believe white men and white women pushed him over the top.
Why wouldn't you? I'm 1000% with you. Yes,
when a white person gets caught up in the cross, I say, it's y'all fault anyway. So I mean, and I'm not saying she should have been killed.
No,
I'm just saying that this is a American product, and that's why I said the rest of the globe is kind of side eyeing us, because this is our elected president, and so he is our fault, right? Like, you ain't no duck in the smoke. Yeah, this your guy. When we say that's your boy, right there, that's your man right there. So, you know, when a white person catches a stray, I'm like, poor white person. You know, welcome to the struggle, right? So rest in peace to her. And his karma will be what it is, right? And you don't know, because you ain't in tune. I guess in this case, Jesus ain't on the main line, so you ain't gonna be able to hear what he's saying. Mama Jenkins says, I always say that I'm glad they don't have to do for me, so I'm happy that they don't like me. Yeah, it's you know, it's not always a bad thing for somebody to dislike you. Like people who are on bullshit, a lot of times I'm cool if they don't like me, because I don't need no bullshit in my life. So it's not.
No, not at all.
Right? It's like, yeah, okay, that's fine. Like, well, we don't mess with him. Okay, that's fine. Like, if somebody looks at this show and says, I don't like him because of this or that, And most of the time, I'm cool with that. To say, well, you probably shouldn't like me because we don't agree. We don't have the same point of view. So speed on. It's fine. I do it all the time. Like I say, I'll scroll past shit, never click on it.
Hey,
Mama Jenkins says
Mm-hmm.
she said they get what they deserve. I told y'all they killed a white woman.
God damn.
So was another white woman tonight? Was it another white person tonight?
They said it was an immigrant. I know the Venezuelan lady after 7 months got released by ICE. So I can't confirm that. I'll keep looking, but I can't confirm that.
I tell you what, there's one definitive way to get rid of all of this madness, and that is to vote this clown out of office and outlaw this perspective that he has. We cannot allow this to happen again.
Gavin Newsom.
When we see candidates who speak the same kind of language moving forward or have the same kind of posture, we need to say no, absolutely not. They should not even get past the first stage of an election. So let's get ready to hit him up in midterms. Let's see if he's gonna really get impeached. I think maybe if we put enough people in the House, let's hope. He was impeached.
No,
before.
he's been impeached before.
He just got off, right? Let's make it happen, right?
Yeah.
We don't need to speak about it. Let's be about it. I want to thank everybody for tuning in and rocking with us. Please share the show. I always appreciate all the support you all give us. Share the show. Hit the Cash App. Support the show. We'll be back on Monday. I'm trying to put some things together. We want to get Brother Ken Black on. I see he's still continuing his assault on Barada Properties. So I want to get him on. We still want to get David King on. Just a bunch of people. I'm trying to get, y'all. I lost my brother, so my life has been kind of weird for the last month. The adjustment period. So I'm getting back to what my new normal will be. So I should be okay. I think I think we talked about tonight being able to decompress and unplug, and I'll have a chance to do that over this weekend, and spend some time with my homie and my son, and just kind of take some deep breaths.
Nice.
And I advise everybody to do that, man. Find you a way to decompress. Do not let this crazy shit drive you crazy, man.
No, don't. And I wanted to add one thing. If everyone wants to decompress, a lot of you did not know. Far as one of the parts to the business I started, we have 4 different things we do. We wrote a book called you can't see that. It's called Toast the Super Cat, and it is available on Amazon right now. And it's about the adventures of a cat it's a children's book, so it's really good for children's book. I believe right now I have it priced at $10 for the paperback, and I believe $5.99 for the digital one. So I just wanted to let everybody know. So I wrote that. I'll have it on my social media, and we're actually donating copies of it to a lot of the Tucson public schools, as well as some of the DTAs in Arizona. So,
well, put it in the People's News Network. Y'all
Yes,
hit
sir.
me up if you want to get his book, man. Dion and Ace, I appreciate both of y'all's input tonight, as usual. Y'all
You
always
know what? I'm always here, man.
Yeah, y'all, both of you brothers are real strong supporters of what we do here. So we appreciate it. In the meantime and in between time, man, y'all keep your head on a swivel and be safe, man. And like to close it out, we'll go back since we don't have an OG here tonight. I'll say what we always said before is, if your criticism of the community outweighs your contribution to it, your ass is probably a coon. I'll see y'all Monday, man. Peace and love.
God bless.
All right, bro.
Fuck your feelings Friday, remember. Great show, Kev.